Of Ritz crackers and peanut butter.
Well, I think we've all been there.
Yeah, by myself.
Been married before.
It was kind of sad.
Yeah.
So I said, what am I doing? Get in the car, go downtown or any town, and find something to eat.
Yeah, but if you don't have power.
So I'm driving that. I can't even get out of my driveway, which is a long, gravelly dirt road up a mountain. I get about 2/3 of the way up, not one, but two huge trees is down.
Oh,
and I've been stopping the whole way, pulling limbs out of the way. And when I got to the top, two trees. And I'm going, I'm screwed. So I go back and sit in the house going, now what am I going to do? I can't call out because I don't have power. So I don't have the internet. I don't have a phone. I have nothing. And I hear yelling in the front yard. This is about dark. And I go outside, and my landlord's standing there with the chainsaw going, I'm going to go up there and fix those trees for you. I said, it's dark. Could be power lines. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up and do this. His chain broke. So I walk up there this morning to pick you guys some blackberries and to see if it's clear. It's not clear.
No, it's not clear.
But the blackberries next week are going to be incredible.
Well, in fact, because of that, when you mentioned that, I actually looked up a recipe for blackberry cobbler. And had my little friend Gretchen sent a little thing over the other day because we were talking about blackberries. And I'm going to make blackberry cobbler. There's nothing. You just use flour and sugar and I think that's it. I mean, and then the blackberries and then I forgot what sour cream. I forgot what it is. But anyway, it's nothing to it. And you put it in a pan, bake it for 45 minutes or 15, whatever.
Well, anyway, so, at noon today, I'm thinking, all right, no power. I can't do the show from home. I can't get out of the driveway. I can't even walk anywhere to call you to say I can't be there. At what point do they call the cops to make a wellness check when they don't hear from me?
I figured because you'd be coming in. I had no idea that you were. I mean, I got creamed too a little bit, but I had no idea that you weren't possibly even going to get out of your
most of the county up there is out of power. Yeah. And about noon, here comes the landlord again, all sweaty. He goes, yeah, my handyman showed up. We cleared the path for you up there. I'm going, that's great. I just taken a sponge bath in the case I was able to get out, so I'm not stinking to death. I took a sponge bath, got all the nether regions, and I put my clothes on and jumped in there, and just as I'm pulling out, here comes the power truck.
So maybe when you go home, you'll be in shape.
Let's hope. Brutal. Yeah. For the second time in a month, I had to throw everything out of the refrigerator.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah. Now, Flounder, you're in Sandy Springs area, Buckhead, Sandy Springs, north of that. What'd you experience?
So last night, me and Veronica went and had dinner with a friend, two friends. And we were over in the Peachtree Corners area at J. Alexander's, and we got there kind of early, luckily, and ordered dinner, and that's right when the storm kind of started coming down. We started seeing a lot of wind and everything like that, and our meal came, and we ate, and then the power went out.
Really?
The power went out, the electricity went out.
At the restaurant?
At the restaurant.
Oh, my God.
So
really?
Everybody got to eat on the house pretty much, and then...
candlelight dinner?
No, because they didn't even have... They pretty much politely asked everybody to leave.
Holy cow! and now, in fact, I'm in Alpharetta, and when it came through, I didn't realize how bad it was because I forgot what was going on, working or whatever, and all of a sudden I realized I can't see my American flag on my deck because it's now in my driveway. The wind ripped the screws right out of the deck railing.
Jeez. Did anybody predict this? I had no idea that there was going to be bad weather yesterday.
No, in fact, I went. If they did, I didn't see it.
Yeah, because it was really nice.
It's beautiful.
When we were on our way to the restaurant, it was beautiful out.
Well, in fact, I have a shopping story to show up. Not really exciting. By the way, we got a whole bunch of news things in the news. We got the Russian coup or non-coup. Bortz is mentioning me in a commentary on black women's breastfeeding or something. I got to figure that out. Also, a whole bunch of stuff on President showers with daughter, head of the crime family, and denying once again he's ever talked to his son. But we got a whole bunch of stuff too. But I also have a state of affairs of shopping. And guys like me, I don't like what's going on because in fact, I missed an opportunity. I even thought about it, about doing one of my, this is for my daughter, and flirting with the sales girl.
Yeah.
And I think I could have pulled it off, and I sort of chickened out. Plus, I was getting discouraged. Anyway, all that's coming up. We got a billion things standing by here. It's 106.3, and here's the phone number. We love taking phone calls. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. Coming up, we're going to play our new favorite comedian, Drew Thomas, a little bit later on today. Talk about nostalgia, and talk about the press and the media, and a million other things with Pete and Flounder and the Kimmer. 313 on 106.3. It's extra, my friend. Here we go. Stand by. What's up? 317. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. An extra 106.3. Look at, here we go. I don't think this is Celine Dion. Nope. Who the hell is this?
Stones.
This is the Stones.
Is this the Rolling Stones?
Yeah.
Whoops, I got this mixed up, but they're on your sheet.
No, I see them here now. This day in 2005. Wow. Tickets for the forthcoming Rolling Stones gig at the Hollywood Bowl were set to become the most expensive tickets in rock and roll history. On this day, 2005, the Stones in Hollywood. Fans would have to pay Well, they got it in pounds. Something like $350 a seat.
Is that pounds?
It would come out. It's like an L thing, or is that the European thing?
That's a pound.
That's a pound. So 250 pounds would be another 100,
less than
350 or so.
No, it was $1.25 when I was there, so it's less than $3.
All right, $300 a seat, let's say. $2 a minute to watch the show. $4, $3 a minute. Anyway, I don't even want to. Also, a quick birthday or two. Speaking of singing people, that naughty little Ariana Grande. God, is she sexy. Holy crime.
30 years old.
30 years old.
That doesn't sound right.
And she's such a little snot. Remember the video of her going into was it a bakery? And she said, somebody took video of her. It was a security camera or something. Maybe it was just a fan. Somebody was taking video of Ariana Grande in a bakery, and she was licking the frosting off of cupcakes and saying, "Oh, I hate the way you Americans eat." Or something like that.
She's American.
I know. I hate them. Americans way. The way Americans eat their food. It was just snotty and pretentious. I couldn't believe it. God, she is so sexy.
With that ponytail.
Oh, no,
just gonna pull.
Okay, take it. Okay. It's only me. It's only the Kipper. 319. Pete Davis, Flounder. Oh, Flounder, tell me your other story.
Oh, I dislocated my shoulder this weekend.
Well, now tell the story.
I was doing some. I actually had to Google this because I didn't even know what it was called. Behind the neck. Neck
presses.
I still
love those. Yeah, with a little bar comes down behind.
So it comes behind there.
Those are great for your shoulders and your
very
neck.
good. And the problem was I was doing them sit down, but I was a little too far away from the bar.
Angle, yeah.
So I moved it myself while I had the weight on, and it just popped out. And it was out for about a good 20, 25 minutes.
Did it hurt? Yank it in for you?
It hurt like hell. But I went to the guy I was working out with. I was working out in his basement. So fortunately, he took me to the urgent care, and they couldn't do anything. And I was like,
popped it.
Yeah. And so, I put my head down just in frustration, and it popped right back in.
Yeah. That's the thing. And we used to have in football, if somebody just and pop it back in.
What do you mean
there?
They couldn't do anything? You're at the dang mini hospital.
I was sitting there waiting around, and the lady was like, "The doctor will be with you in a minute, but they're going to send you. They want to send you to the ER." And I was like,
everybody's afraid that something's going to,
they'll be liable if something happens or something.
I didn't do anything, doctor.
God, you sue them once, and they get all gunshot.
Freaking believable. Anyway, can I do a quick update thing?
No.
Pete's going to yell at me because we're not doing any news stuff. And I honestly, I don't give a crap about the Russian coup or non-coup.
I do. I thought it was fascinating.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Let me do one thing here, and then I want to hear the Russian coup.
Your one
I just got. In fact, I saw Tiffany today here, and our friend. God, I hope Amanda didn't get any crap. I'll be on the show Friday because she's so sweet. Anyway, last week I put on Facebook a little video I did in my kitchen because I was reading a story that now they're coming after aspartame. Well, aspartame is in the blue box of the fake sugar that I use because I love aspartame. It's really great stuff and tastes great. And aspartame, whatever in the blue box thing, is much sweeter than sugar. And it's not sugar. It doesn't have the things that sugar has in it. And so I was mentioning they're not coming after my aspartame. And I also mentioned that that was the same date I mentioned that the Publix didn't have any of my normal medium roast Dunkin' Donuts coffee. So I had to buy some French vanilla something or other. And it was horrible. I hated it. I took one sip. So I brought it in here and gave it to Tiffany. So I got a message that says, "Oh, let me get this straight. Give it to Tiffany because it was so horrible." Well, that was nice. Anyway, so I went to Tiffany today and said, hope you weren't a fan. She's so sweet. She doesn't care. But here's a quick thing about the aspartame. I got a note here from, in fact, I'm not even, it's from, I'm not sure who it is from. It says, "Kimmer, please stop using that equals sweetener. It actually put me in the hospital 10 years ago. Aspartame is poison. Please use Demerara cane sugar or raw sugar, not white. It's beige color. I know what raw sugar is. My husband is diabetic, but we still use this every morning for coffee or tea. Be safe rather than sorry. Love, Joyce." And aspartame put her in the hospital? Whew. Wow. Anyway. All right, so thank you. Update, but I'm going to still use it.
Well, she spilled some and slipped on it.
She fell down the stairs. Yeah, it was kind of her. No, I'm pretty sure that's not true. All right. Now we've got more Biden stuff and the Hunter's thing. And by the way, let's not forget the judge has the final factor on what the punishment's going to be for Hunter crime family. It's not a done deal just because the prosecutor says we made a quick deal. Anyway, we'll get in a second. First, the Russian coup. First of all, this guy Wagner. Why does it sound like an American guy? Is there?
No.
I mean, what the hell?
Wagner's the name. For some reason, it's the name of the group. This guy's name's prodigies.
Yeah, but it's the Wagner Group. Sounds like some mercenary from Ohio.
They are mercenary.
Well, anyway, all right. So what's the deal going on in Russia?
They've been doing most of the good fighting for the Russians because the Russians,
it's
don't
a
want to fight.
huge force, and they're tough guys. They're killers. They're mercenaries.
Yeah.
They're hired soldiers.
And supposedly he heard that in Moscow, Putin was about to get rid of them, and that he's been trying to get rid of them for a while, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And they finally decided they were going to get rid of him. And he said, no. So he turned his troops. This is like somebody in Texas, a private army, deciding to quit fighting at the Mexican border and march on Washington, get all the way to like Kentucky, and then decide, well, I don't want to spill any American blood. I don't want a civil war. I'll turn around and go back. And the U.S. Army is either afraid or cannot stop them or is in cahoots with them because the Russian Army couldn't stop them.
Or not knowing what to do. And that's the other thing. This guy had fought Putin. He had been a curmudgeon against Putin, saying, no, we don't want to do that. We need more troops over here. I remember reading that their leader was angry at Putin because he said, no, I disagree with where you want us to go. We need to put our troops in. I mean, they were fighting the whole time.
This Wagner guy, has been basically emptying their prisons, going to the prison, saying, we will commute your sentence if you go fight for us. The problem
He's running his own army, basically.
But the problem is, after a while, those prisoners realized nobody was coming back. They were being used as cannon fodder.
Right. Yeah.
So they decided, well, I don't want to do it. So he was running out of people, and suppose he was running out of bullets. So he turned his people around and marched them toward Moscow. They got almost to Moscow, 200 miles.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's insane.
Well, 2 days ago, it was a coup attempt. I mean, they were talking about a coup.
And the left. He was called everything, this guy from Wagner, everything but Hitler for the last few years. He's the evil incarnate. Suddenly, for 24 hours, he was the savior of the world. He was going to get rid of Putin. And then when he changed his mind, suddenly he became evil. But here's the thing. Didn't we have a $6.2 billion oversight to Ukraine?
Realized we had
or disappeared?
Yeah.
Well, supposedly, this Wagner guy was being bribed by the CIA $6 billion or something to march and kick Putin out. As if he'd be any better than Putin, because this guy's crazy, right?
Regime change, my friends, with the CIA.
And supposedly, now the thing is, the conspiracy is that he got with Putin and said, look, they just gave me $6 billion. What I'll do is I'll pretend to march on you, and then I'll turn around and go back, and we'll split the money.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get any.
No, it was our money.
We never get anything.
So once again, the CIA looks like a bunch of doofuses.
Oh, Lord.
Whether it's true or not.
But as we stand, I mean, and today at the State Department, they've had briefings all afternoon. And as we stand, there is no coup. It's over. Things are, I mean, I don't know what's going on. And Frank, let's make the other point once again. No matter what you think about him, if Donald Trump had been president this whole time, none of this would have happened. I don't believe in a million years that Putin would ever have done what he did in Ukraine. It never would have happened. The country would have been in a totally different, we all that money, we would still be here to spend it. I mean, well, look what's going on. If Trump had been president, none of this would have happened.
Mm-mm.
All right. Now, 3:25. All right, I want to talk about the Biden stuff. And again, a quick point, and then I want to get to the Neil Boards thing because I don't understand something. Very quickly, today, President Showers with daughter was walking along, and one of the Fox News girls said, Mr. President, did you lie about never speaking with Hunter about his business deals? And he said, no, and kept going. Did you speak with Hunter about this? Anyway, he's not going to talk to the press. And again, the podium princess, Shirley Temple, little Miss Goldilocks, refuses to answer anything. Nobody's answering anything. As though they can just say, well, we're not going to talk about it. That's your job. Linked to the President of the United States. You represent the President of the United Administration.
See the Babylon Bee? Says she refuses to answer any more questions, like she's some kind of press secretary or something.
Right. She gets to determine the news. I mean, it's unbelievable. Hey, we'll talk about that. Also, they're coming for your kids.
Yeah,
they're coming for, and they're saying it. And you're going to hear the sound. I mean, we're not making it up. Before I run out of time, though, very quickly, Neil Boards, he does commentaries that play. Is it every hour, but right before the hour news? Or it plays a
it's
lot.
played-
It
like in the
varies.
morning, it's played at 7:55 and 8:55, and then it's played throughout the day.
Okay, very, very exciting. It's a Neil Bortz commentary. Today's commentary started off like this, and I don't get it.
The Georgia Supreme Court has ruled unanimously that a state law requiring lactation consultants to be licensed is unconstitutional. Oh boy, where can I go from here? Lactation consultants. Well, I'm going to leave the obvious alone. I'll let the Kimmer handle that this afternoon.
Yeah. I understand completely what he meant by that. That's a fastball right down the
wait a
pipe
minute.
for you.
Was that because of our
Because
Friday
we talk about anything. Of course we talk about lactation.
I think it was because Friday we were talking with with sweet Amanda talking about dating and stuff like that.
I don't know if it had anything to do with that.
Why would he come up with ladies' lactation? It was a black organization, the Southern Poverty Law Center, saying
you're reading
black
too
women will
much
never
into
get to have jobs again. And I thought, wait, what?
You're reading far too much.
Lactation.
Basically, he set that on a tee for you because that's what you do. You talk about
It's
stuff
so
like
good.
that.
And by the way, for the record, I do know a little something about the colostrum. Do you know what that is?
What the hell's a colostrum?
My starter wife had initially had some trouble
Where's the bell?
some
Where's the bell?
breastfeeding, and we were all in this together because I said no. But it's important to know that what the nurse told her was, well, you're doing great because the most important part of breastfeeding really is the first couple of or 3 days because that's where the colostrum, that's where the most nutritious health things
Where's
for your
my
baby's
bill?
future are expressed
Look behind
from the
your bag.
mother for the baby. And so that's it's nature, you idiot. It's nature. 329. That's nature. It's the breast of nature. God's milk liquid.
Happy breasts.
be over in a minute. 3:34. It's Only the Kimmer with Pete and Flounder. Oh, God. Pete Davis looked like somebody farted in the booth.
When they...
What? This is... This is Celine Dion. With... Celine Dion doing a cover for AC/DC. You shook me all night long. And Flounder says, play this one because Total Guitar Magazine on this day in 2008 called this the world's worst cover version ever.
It's not. It's not. It's actually, if you didn't know, it's not bad.
It doesn't sound like Celine Dion. In the best cover versions list, Jimi Hendrix was voted first place with his version of Bob Dylan's "All Along the Watchtower."
Yeah, it's okay.
The Beatles' rendition of "Twist and Shout," first recorded by Top Notes, was in second place. Well, now the Beatles, I think, was almost as good as the Isley Brothers or whatever was "Twist and Shout."
They did a great rollover Beethoven too. Very tight. Very tight.
I think you're correct there too. I think I'll agree with that. And then a third place for the best. What do you call it? Fake, cover, best cover. Third place, Guns N' Roses' version of the Wings, "Live and Let Die."
No, that's one of the worst of all time.
And they didn't get permission to do it.
Yeah,
well,
a-hole.
Disgusting.
How about this?
Yeah.
One of your favorite bands.
Yeah.
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
I hate them. I'm sorry.
I heard it on the Grapevine. Is one of the great songs of all time.
Let's recall it. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Bloods, CCR, Croxton and Crawford, Claude Justeau and his band of very renowned.
Heinous J. Graphic.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Earth, Wind, and Fire, CCR, and Chicago are the same freaking band, but depending on the number of trombones they put in for the recording session. Quick birthday or two. Audrey Plaza from April on Parks and Rec. And she's in next year's WandaVision spinoff called Agatha, Coven of Chaos. I've never heard of that.
Good. Well, you never saw the first WandaVision. It's a Marvel.
That a Netflix thing?
It's Marvel.
It's a Marvel thing. Anyway, Aubrey Plaza is 39.
She's the hottie from Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. I mentioned. Although she's so freaky, I don't think she's hot.
I like that.
Well, I know I like freaky girls, but I'd rather they be hot freaky girls instead of kind of weird.
You don't think Aubrey Plaza's hot?
No, I don't.
She was in a couple episodes of Criminal Minds too. She's got those eyes.
She's got the
They're
thing
called
going
certain
there.
eyes.
Up to no good.
Another quickie: Gretchen Wilson, the country star, redneck woman, is Gretchen Wilson.
Never heard of
50 today. Well, I just put it because we got some. And a quick historical note. Let's see. 60 years ago, in 1963, President John F. Kennedy gave a speech in West Berlin where he said, "Ich bin ein Berliner," which means I'm a jelly donut.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. He mispronounced it, and everybody knows he said, "I'm a jelly donut." Or maybe not. And one more quick thing. 204 years ago, 1819, William Clarkson Jr. patented the bicycle. There you go. Okie dokie. Now, what do you want? Oh, can I do a shopping story, or should we do that? I mean, we haven't done any news story. We did
the Russian coup.
We did the Russian coup. I'll do the quick Biden thing, and I want to talk about. I'm so ticked off about. I'm going to do it right now. I'm sorry. Okay, it's 3:38, and your people are still at work, and I can't listen very closely, so we'll write it off. Okay, my daughter's Sarah's birthday is July 12th, coming up here, and I know what she likes, and I asked her husband and I check with her. So I always get her things she likes, including I always get her at least one gift card, and I always send the other kids in the family a gift card too to go buy something when they go shopping with their mommy. Anyway, just for her birthday, and I'll get something for Dan too. Anyway, so for Sarah, I wanted to get her some special earrings, and I know she's really into. She's very conservative. I don't mean conservative politically. She's a screaming liberal socialist politically, but she's not a showy person. She doesn't wear showy stuff.
Right.
So, but all of a sudden, she loves showy earrings. So I've made a point of getting her some couple sets of showy earrings and her gift card stuff. And the last couple gifts for her, she really loves getting really weird shorty pajamas. And the last one I got for her, like zebra prints or, snarling animal faces or something like that, and the little, little short, like silk nicing and a little top, shorty pajamas. Well, they don't have them anywhere anymore. Nobody's got them. I went on the internet. They don't have them in a medium. They get one size. And it's a nightmare. So if I said, okay, I'm just going to the freaking mall, which I'd rather go shopping in person so I can see what I want. I look it, touch it, feel it, and buy it and bring it home. So I
love it.
I like to touch it and be with it. No. All right. So I go. In fact, I'm in notes. So I went to North Point Mall, and the first place I went was to Von Maur. Now, Von Maur is a monster department store. I think it's a high end. Do you know VONMAUR, Von Maur? Do you know that store, Flounder?
No, I do not.
And Pete never heard of it? I can't believe it.
I've heard of it, but I've never been.
Well, anyway, you walk in and it's enormous. It looks like its own mall. I mean, it's just enormous. And I couldn't find anybody. Nobody. Try to find a salesperson. I walked around. Finally, I found one girl, and she said, "Well, I think you're over here," because they're just people who say, "Well, they try to point you somewhere." So I found that didn't work out for anything. They basically had nothing. So I said, "Okay, what the hell?" I go to the store called Pink. Now you got, and the girl said, "Well, try Pink," and Pink is like girly stuff, and they go, "No, they didn't have squat." So then I go, Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret Shirley has got, and I stop calling you Shirley, has got to have 1 million shorty pajama sets right there. They ought to be 1 million.
Not cute.
Anyway. Okay, so I go to Victoria's Secret. I walk around. Finally, find a woman who obviously doesn't want to help me. And I said, can you? I'm trying to find some shorty pajama sets for my daughter, and I'm not even sure where to look or whatever. She says, oh, okay. She walks me over into one of the side rooms, and in front of me is this huge shelf of all these things. And she says, well, for example, here's one right here. And I said, I'm looking for a medium and shorty pajamas, and I'm looking for bright colors and weird and like animal print, something like that. So she said, well, here you go, right here. And she pulls one out, and it was pajamas with long legs, not shorty. And then she pulls out a second one, and it's all solid black. And I said, I don't think you're hearing me. And so she says, well, you just have to look in, go through and look in there. And she walks away. And I said, I really appreciate it.
I think it's a different kind of customer service because
God.
They don't want to be like on your neck though. They don't want to just be.
No. She was lazy. She didn't want to be over there. And it was like when I said, "Do you work here?" She goes, "Yes." One of those. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, you caught me.
She didn't do this.
Yes. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I finally start mumbling, and then I'm me, right? And I'm liable to say. Remember in the public the other day, I'm not opening up another line. So I said, well, I guess they don't give a crap about their customers in here either. And I'm walking out the door, and people were looking at me. Well, I'm fed up. I'm sick of it. What did she just? She said, well, I guess you'll just have to look around. I said, well, that's not. That's it now. Maybe I go through your freaking inventory. Why don't you tell me where your warehouse is? I can maybe sneak in at night. I guess I have to do it on my own.
Called Amazon.
God.
Amazon.
Well, they don't have them. You can't find them anywhere. You got to, we don't have the medium. We have an extra large. Well, she weighs 98.
I bet I can find it in 5 minutes.
But you could. Anyway, so that was the whole afternoon Saturday. So I blew my Saturday. And so I said, and then I get to the point where I can't do this anymore. I was walking around that stupid mall and looking for, and I just said, that's it. I'm out of here. And I finally had to leave. And so Sunday, I said, I'll give up my Sunday afternoon after I went to the stable and go to the stuff at the. So I go Sunday afternoon, and I go to all the other stores, and I go to Dillard's and a thing. I finally go to Macy's, and I missed an opportunity. I go to Macy's. I find that somebody says, well, the ladies' sleepwear stuff is over in the back of this thing. So I said, okay, at least point me in the direction. So I go in the direction. Again, there's nobody there. Okay? Sorry. Shut up, bastard. You dirty bastard. Well, this was almost the fun part. So I go down, I'm in a Macy's. I find the girls' sleepwear type section. But again, it's everything, So finally, I kind of walk around and I go to a section nearby, and there's a woman with a little chain around her neck near a checkout area. And I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, do you work here?" She said, "Yeah." And I said, I'm trying to find somebody in the ladies' sleepwear stuff. I said, I'm trying to find a shorty pajama set for my daughter for her birthday. And she said, well, the reason there's nobody in there is because nobody works there. I swear to God. They don't have people who work in these places. So I said, I'm trying to, and she said, well, yeah. And so she was very sweet, and she came back with me to the area, and she said, well, there's nothing I can do because nobody knows the thing. And so, but she said, and I said, "You're very kind. Thank you so much for showing me where it is." So I start looking through, and a couple minutes later, she comes back. And I thought to myself, she'd about 50, real cute. And I thought for a split second, I thought to myself, all right, now why would she have come back to try to help me, see how I'm doing? Very nice sales lady, or a little spark.
Just want to see if you'd slipped and fallen.
Well, no, it's just, well, yeah, that too. But, for my daughter.
You all right back here?
Anyway, so I did find a set, and they're not I couldn't go wild and crazy because they didn't have them. So I found some cutesy ones, got my daughter thing. I didn't flirt with a girl, but I'm ticked off, and I had to do it all myself. Now, I don't mind. I mean, it's not that I can't handle doing things all myself, but then why do you even have a store open? Why don't you just have it all on the freaking sidewalk where people can go through the boxes and they write your check, and then you don't even have to check out with anybody as long as they don't even want to freaking wait on you.
It's called Amazon.
Did I miss something?
It's called Amazon.
It's called Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. But if they don't have, you can't find it on the internet. You can't send it on Amazon.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is all my fault. I should have asked the eternal question: is this story under 15 minutes?
3:45 here at Extra 106.3, and it may continue. I don't even know yet. Bum, 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 bum. Look out. Maybe it's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete and Flounder.
Put your booties on. It's going to be a cold one out there.
1974, on this very day, Cher divorced Sonny Bono. As 11 years of marriage down the drain for 4 days. Well, it was 30
game.
Yeah, 30 years of deceit for 11 years. 4 days later, Cher married guitarist Greg Allman. They split 10 days after that, got back together again, and then split again. They did stay married for 3 years and produced Elijah Blue Allman. Play a little song if you want to for a second ago. It's a gone. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's sure. Okay, there we go. All right, look out. It's only me. Oh, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. What a simpler time, you know? I got you, babe, and it just, you know.
It was a nice song.
Just love rock and roll. You couldn't help
That's
but
not rock and
enjoy
roll.
it.
That's pop.
Well, yeah. But that was, adult contemporary. They had to start calling. They had to make up names. Because they didn't know what to call it. It wasn't rock around the clock, but anyway.
Of all the names come up with adult contemporary.
Adult contemporary, yeah.
That's a stupid name.
Well, you got your AC, you got your LB. Freaking disc jockeys. What a bunch of goofs. God.
Is that what Peach Nut? What was it? Peach.
The gentle sound.
Yeah. Was that adult contemporary?
Yes.
Yeah, very.
I
remember there was.
It was always on at my grandma's house.
It was laudanum for the airwaves.
Yeah, it used to. They used to pretend that there was a guy actually named Steve Goss, who actually was not a real person. It was a computer voice.
The dulcet
I'm
tones.
Steve Goss, and now the gentle sound of Peach.
I ran into that computer voice at Kroger out in Mountain Park one day.
And I had a crush.
He looks the same.
I had a crush on his wife, and he does. He looks exact. He looks 31.
30.
Yeah, he's got to be 70. He's got to be my. I mean, he's got to be anyway in his 60s. I'll bet he's 70.
He's still got the Davy Jones haircut.
He still looks. Yeah, he looks like Tom Watson or something. He just the golfer. I mean, he just looks like a little, Huckleberry Finn type guy.
I wouldn't say that. No need to insult him, man.
A quick thing here. Sean Hayes' birthday list. 53 today. Jack on Will and Grace.
He's funny.
And 3 Stooges named Sean Hayes. Let's see. Okay. Newsy stuff. We got Holy Crap at Sports coming up later. Is there any way are we going to do a tweet thing? Of course, you were out without power for the whole weekend.
Yeah, I got.
We may do some stuff, and maybe a little Skynet thing of some kind. But we Holy Crap at Sports. How you?
Yeah. Because we can talk about. But I didn't find out the Braves won until I was driving in today.
In fact, a couple of things I wanted to ask you about. In fact, I'll just one quick thing right now. You didn't see any this weekend. I think it was the Cardinals and Cubs were playing in London.
Did you see
I tried. Well, wait a minute, hold on. I tried. I'll bet you're going to say the same thing I am. I tried to watch it, and I watched for about the first 90 seconds, and I said, I can't watch it. I can't watch the ball game. And the reason was the background went from the pitcher's mound, looking at the camera to the shot, was the batter and the catcher and the ump and a green wall. No crowd, no fence. It was just a green, in front of a dark green wall.
And that threw you off?
And it was so horrible. I mean, it looked like they were, throwing batting practice against the wall for Little League.
And they
or something.
say you don't like change.
No, I don't like change. I couldn't believe it.
My God.
I couldn't watch it. It was so horrible. I couldn't watch it. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. That's sports coming up.
I can't watch it because the Cardinals are playing. Well, they suck.
Well, I don't even know. I haven't followed any other teams and how they. I mean, I just don't follow them anymore.
They're in last place.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't. And I used to love. I'm a National Leaguer. I don't care about the American League. If the Yankees and the Red Sox are playing, if it's a thing, I'll watch it. But I don't really. I hate American League. Anyway, okay. A couple things. We're going to do newsy stuff and Biden stuff. Just for the record, your Al Jazeera constipation has not changed. Sunday front page of the front section, newsy section, of the front page Sunday paper. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the dancer. It's a large picture of a large black, mostly naked man with a crusted foot on one leg upside down kind of in a thing, and the entire thing they got. I mean, it's unbelievable. They got one Ukraine story, and then it's a submersible, but it's all dancing. It's all dancing guy, and so that's your coverage of the Biden news family. And then, surprise, surprise.
Okay.
I actually see. No, I can't find it. I swear to God, there it is. I actually see a small story from Washington, D.C. IRS whistleblower says Justice Department stifled Hunter Biden case. This, I believe, that to my memory, is the first time that the Al Jazeera constipation has actually covered a story about the cover-up. And I wonder, now, and Pete, we mentioned Friday, we said, we wonder what's going to happen over the weekend with the news coverage. Is it all going to disappear, or is this going to be the beginning of maybe a new thing where, well, I think it might be the beginning of a new thing because I'm about to tell you something here. But again, first of all, there's an actual story in the Al Jazeera Constipation, and it says the agent offered a detailed, potentially damning account of prosecutors who were either timid or uninterested when it came to examining the financial misdeeds of Hunter Biden, which he says included instances in which the president's son treated prostitutes and their travel costs as business expenses. And it even goes into that in the Al Jazeera Constipation. And by the way, I want to make sure we remember this too when we're trying to put this all in perspective. All these latest documents have also once again proven, let's not forget, that the FGI, the Federal Gestapo investigation with the disgrace of Atlanta, Chrissy the Cossack Ray, the FGI knew before the letter of those 51 guys signed that letter, the FGI knew that the laptop was real. And all of those people who signed that letter knew that the FBI said, oh, it's legit, it's real, but they still went ahead and did it anyway. And when the FGI knew that they were coming out with a letter, in fact, there were FBI agents who were asked to sign the document, and they said, well, we know it's real, and they were asked to sign it anyway. It was all part of the scheme to help the Biden family. The FGI knew that letter was fake. Those people knew that the laptop was real beforehand, before they signed the letter, just for the record. Anyway, now, a couple things on the Biden business. Here we go, right here. The top just came out just a short while ago. And again, this is why Pete wondered the question, is this going to be this weekend be the beginning of something new, or are they going to just throw it under the rug? Well, today, Fox News White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich asked President showers with daughter, quote, he was walking in the White House on the way to something, kicking off his Invest in America Bidenomics business. Anyway, so my president's walking, and Jackie from Fox says, did you lie about never speaking with Hunter about his business deals? The president said, no. And then she said, did you ever speak with Hunter about his business deals? And off he goes. It's unbelievable. But again, he still did not. How could he possibly be? What's he going to say? Yes, I lied to you. So he's just got to keep up the lie.
There's a chance with him.
You might say, oh, you got me.
One of these days, yes, I did it.
You know what all they have to do, I swear, if they ever got into even one of these loan times, if they could get one reporter say, Mr. President, your staff has just confirmed that you and Hunter have had a lot of conversations about that, so they're going to have a press release. So I wonder if you want to go ahead and well, yeah, we decided, I didn't just talk him into it, admitting because he didn't know any better.
Imagine this: if Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr. had huddled for a weekend at Camp David to discuss, I need to lawyer up because this is about to hit the fan. Yeah. What do you think the media would be saying about that? Because that's just what happened with Biden.
Well, this is after, remember, Hunter was a prominent guest at the state dinner for the India people over the weekend as well. And then the weekend, now what's this about the weekend at Camp David again?
Camp David, basically, he and Hunter went up there. He took Hunter to Camp David. And what did they do? They discussed lawyers. And guess who now has a lawyer? A criminal lawyer, the President of the United States.
This story is centering on, it says White House took heat over the weekend. Hunter Biden accompanied his father to Camp David. Bombshell whistleblower allegations, political corruption. The president's son, a plea deal, shared a WhatsApp message. We know about that Hunter said, I'm sitting here with daddy and I'm threatening you Chinese communist people. Let's remember now, I don't remember if it's even been set when he gets his sentence. I don't think it's even been set yet. I think it's still up to the judge. Do we have any idea?
There's not a date on the
I don't think there's a date yet. Anyway, okay, let's remember this. And from all I spent a lot of time this weekend listening to the commentators who do this for a living. And first of all, I heard more than one say, federal prosecutors say, they have never seen a case of a fake lying federal gun charge, which included video of the person holding the gun naked with hookers and cocaine and heroin in the room. Accompanying circumstances,
underage hookers.
In fact, other felonious felonies and so forth. So, I mean, the judge has the right to say, wait a minute, there's a lot more to this than just he's made a deal. And we'll find out whether the judge has got any balls coming up here, too, because he definitely should not accept this plea bargain, because the prosecutors we've talked to said no one's ever gotten diversion in a misdemeanor for a major felony with cocaine involved and crimes and so forth. Never happened, except this time. 4 o'clock, look out. Yeah, I got that. Okay, but I want to do the. We'll do that too, just in case. Oh, hey, oh, look out! We're on. Kill him! Look out! 403. Yeah, 1972. David Bowie. Oh, I never liked any of his music. I'm so sorry.
Song.
Oh, it's horrible.
What's the name of the song? I'm Only Dancing?
I'm only John, I'm only dancing. In fact, David Bowie. Oh, this is so annoying. Oh my God! Does it hurt your ears?
No.
Oh, my God. David Bowie recorded the thing, Olympic Studios in London, recorded John, I'm Only Dancing with Mick Ronson on lead guitar and Lou Reed
Mott the Hooper
on rhythm guitar. It was released, became a hit single in the UK, not released in America, being judged too risque by RCA Records.
What are the lyrics?
The video directed by so-and-so, androgynous dancers from Lindsay Kemp mime troupe. It was banned by British music show Top of the Pops.
Huh.
What were I don't know what the lyrics were. Flounder, do you have any idea?
Well, that was in his androgynous stage, so he was, just to make
just
money.
looked like a girl or something?
He was like both.
Oh, boy. He
was non-binary before non-binary was cool.
Apparently so, yes. Speaking of weird singers, Patti Smythe is 66 today, 80s rock star from Scandal. Was that John McEnroe's girlfriend?
Yeah, I think. Married.
Or wife, didn't he? I think he married her, didn't he? Yeah. Patti Smythe.
She's a cutie.
And he also had that naughty little Academy Award winning
Tatum O'Neal.
Tatum O'Neal. I had the hots for her for a long time. Until she looked like a boy.
Yeah, looks like a boy.
Well, but when she looked like a girl, I had the hots for her. But when she started looking like a boy, no, sorry. Well, I did. When she looked like a cute girl, I had the hots for her. And when she no longer looked like that, I no longer had the hots for her. I'm sure you were so interested.
And you wonder why Bort says you're the man for the job when it comes to lactating.
Give me a lactate. I'll lactate this over there. No, I don't even want to hear about that. Okay. I was going to do one more thing. Wait a minute.
It's a good segue, though, the non-binary.
Here we go. In the year 1284, Grimm's fairy tale, the true story, the Pied Piper led the children out of Hamelin, Germany. Mm-hmm. The townsfolk never paid him for leading the rats out of the town, so he kidnapped the children, hence the expression, pay the piper.
Yeah.
That's where it came from. And by the way, that apparently is a true story.
It is. I don't think they ever found the kids.
They say they might have been murdered in the woods. I mean, they disappeared. I believe that the kids disappeared.
We gave them to the witch who put them in the oven.
The gingerbread house kind of thing. That's a whole other story. Anyway, all right, hold on. We got that for you coming up early. All right, a couple things. You're going to hear, tell this story about what you heard about someone just telling the New York Times leading into the story. We're going to hear the chant. We're going to hear some chanting here in a second here, Cloud.
Well, a few years ago, the San Francisco Men's Choir came out with a song, said we're coming for your children.
Right.
And
we played it years ago on the radio. Yeah.
And then over the weekend in New York City, they had a big tranny type gay parade or something like that, which is, of course, taken over by the trannies again. And they all started chanting, we're coming for your children.
What is it? Had a certain person made a comment to us, the New York Times?
Well, because of what they were doing, the chant and everything, some guy writes in the New York Times, Fox News just had it, and said, I'm gay, and it's really sad what's happening, and most people are more than straight people, gay people are upset what's going on by these chants, because what has happened is you got a bunch of psychologically impaired people, pretty much nuts, have taken over the movement.
Yep.
And they're making us all look bad. And the ones that are in front of the cameras, oh, no, we don't want the children. We're just here for love and inclusion and all that.
Yeah.
But you have the majority of them. They know exactly what they want.
Here's the story. New York City's annual drag queen parade, and here are the chants of hundreds of drag queens and members of the alphabet community at Thompson Square Park. Right in this area right here.
Show started at 3.
Okay. Well, like I say, we're going to have that old chanting here in a second. Now, yes, hundreds of drag queens were at Thompson Park there. It's like we're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children. They also sang, we're here, we're queer, and we're not going shopping.
Yeah.
It was the anniversary of the 1969 Stonewall riots, which was a gay rights moment where it was a riot.
Started the movement, basically. And they are very happy to say, we're here, we're queer, and we're coming for your children. These people are groomers. And by the way... No, they're pedophiles.
Well,
they're freaks. They're freaks of nature. They're bad things. They're just bad.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. Yeah. They're pedophiles. We quit mincing words around. They are pedophiles, and they want to have sex with kids, and they're trying to change the laws to make it easier to do that.
Right. Again, I totally understand the viewpoint from gay rights activists saying, wait a minute, they've compromised who we are. I mean, that's not the same. Gay is not tranny.
Nope.
I mean, tranny's a whole, well, in fact, I've got a couple stories related to this specifically.
Someone said, now we know what the plus means. It stands for pedophile.
The P for P. Yeah, the P for pedophile. In Tennessee, A federal judge had to dismiss, or thank goodness, a lawsuit filed by a group of trannies saying that they want to be able to change their sex gender on their birth certificate. Excuse me. A law passed in 1977 does not allow people to alter the sex designation on their birth certificate, and so the tranny said it's unconstitutional because the sex designation at birth is wrong because it doesn't accurately correspond to what we think of ourselves. And they said they want the judge to overturn the law so they could change their sex and gender because they say it leads to harassment and violence over gender identities. And the judge says, "No, wait a minute. The term word sex has a very narrow specific meaning when it comes to birth certificates. It means external genitalia at the time of birth. If it's showing, you're a boy. Yep. Sorry. Ding dong. That's it."
Excuse me?
Yeah, thank you.
Wait a minute.
By the way, the state of Tennessee is also trying to ban sex reassignment surgery for minors.
Good.
And also they're trying to protect teachers who say, "I'm using your stupid pronoun." They're trying to, and teachers say, I'm not going along with it, trying to hide you from your parents knowing you want to change your gender. And they're trying to make sure teachers don't get in trouble if they're trying to just say, I'm not going to allow you to do that. And we're also in Tennessee trying to pass a law which says if you're a boy, you do not play on the girls' sports teams. Who didn't think that was real? I mean, I still can't believe we're even talking about this.
And we weren't, as Bill Maher said, we weren't 5 years ago.
Yeah. That's right. This is all.
They're trying to push the envelope to see how far they can get, because up to now, no one has said no to them. No one said no to them since they were 4 years old. They've stamped their feet, run around the restaurant. We think, gosh, what's going to happen when they grow up? What are they going to be like? Well, now we know what they're going to be
Control
like.
your children, parents. Yeah. Huh? Well, this is exactly what we get. And by the way, this has been the leadership. From the very beginning, remember when President Slimebag Shower's daughter got elected, and all of a sudden all the socialists, remember, that was back when AOC and the Squad were all in the news every 5 minutes, and they were all pushing for the Green New Deal and a train rail to Hawaii and no more metal used in windows for buildings, or I mean whatever. It was the whole socialist agenda, and they said we're going to have a black female vice president, we're going to have a black female gay person if we can get one on the Supreme Court. I mean, and everything was by quotas for equity. This is what we get. The trannies were saying, "Oh my God, this is our opportunity. Yep. Everybody now we can we can do whatever we want. We can say we're a special class. We're a designated different class now. We're not gay. We're not. I mean, we're a special whole thing." And now and then someone claimed, "Oh, there's violence against us. Oh boy, they're trying to kill us." So a tranny murders little children, and we still don't understand what her manifesto was, by the way. But all of a sudden now the trannies are now somehow in danger, and they're a protected class of people. Bourgeois. Where did this? Who started that? I mean, you're killing me.
A great PR move on their behalf.
And here's one more. I can't even believe this is happening in Wyoming. University of Wyoming. Now, you think about Wyoming, you're thinking, Wild West. And so I love Wyoming, by the way. Just, Cody, Wyoming was one of my mother's favorite places to visit. Anyway, I've been driven through many times. Anyway, Wyoming. Okay, University of Wyoming. There's the Kappa Kappa Gamma chapter, University of Wyoming sorority. The sorority allowed a 21-year-old man named Artemis Langford into the sorority. So members of the sorority, other girls, said, no, we don't want that. So they're suing. But here's what happened. They said, according to reports, the women suing say that this guy Langford, pretending to be a girl, has been voyeuristically peeping on them while they were in intimate situations, and on at least one occasion had a visible erection while doing so. So they're suing to ban boys from being girls in the sorority. Well, the sorority chapter is fighting that and is fighting back against what they call a frivolous lawsuit, defending the right of a boy to look like a girl, pretend to be a girl in the freaking sorority.
Freak.
And the sorority girls say, well, if you don't like it, if he offends you with his dingle-dangle, then you can just join another sorority.
They should all quit.
Yeah, exactly. Shut it down. I mean, where did this happen? Wyoming.
Why are we putting up with this?
It's all right. 4:13. It's time for the 4:14 break. I don't know.
Whoa.
The Trogs or the Monkeys or who's
The Birds.
The Birds, of course. I love this song. I used to like the Birds. This is my music, 60s music.
Did they do mostly covers?
No, they
Dylan cover. They did some Dylan stuff.
yeah, but they were a folk rock, group. They all sang all the same song. Hell, Dylan and Peter, Paul, and Mary. I mean, they all sing the same songs.
Did you just put Peter, Paul, and Mary in the same category as Bob Dylan?
Bob Dylan was the man, but Peter, Paul, and Mary also sang like a Rolling Stone and all those other. Oh, they did all those songs. They did a lot of Bob Dylan songs. Well, Don't Say Twice It's All Right or whatever. They sang all those songs.
Okay. Because they couldn't come up with any of their own.
No, oh, my God. Peter, Paul, and Mary sang Stew Ball, which happens to be, mister, one of the greatest songs of all time. And when I got my first horse after I got my first divorce with my starter wife, and I got a Harley, and then it got to be wintertime, and I said, I'm getting a horse. And I bought my first horse, and his name was Blue because he had 2 blue eyes. It was a dun buckskin. And I bought him, and I changed his name to Stew Ball after the Peter, Paul, and Mary song, Stew Ball was a racehorse.
Nobody knows that song. Everyone knows Puff the Magic Dragon.
And I wish he were mine. He only drank water. He never drank. He never drank water. Only drank wine. The fairgrounds are. The fairgrounds are crowded, and Stew Ball was there, but the betting was heavy on the bay and the. No. I'm finishing this one line, and the betting was. And here's the thing: the fairgrounds were crowded. Stew Ball was there, but the betting was heavy on the bay and the mare. And away up yonder, ahead of them all, came a prancing and a dancing, my noble Stew Ball. I bet on the gray mare, I bet on the bay. If I'd have bet on old Stew Ball, I'd be a free man today. And I named my horse Stew Ball, and I put a great big plaque up there, big brass freaking plaque, and it said Stew Ball.
That's the stupidest name I've ever heard.
And all the girls, because the stables are all women. There's no guys at any stable in America ever. It's all chicks. And all the chicks, who, by the way, is much younger and going through the barn. Anyway, and so all the chicks, would say, oh, you can't call that horse Stew Ball.
I know.
Well, they all had, $100,000 show horses, saddlebreds, all the prancy ones. And I said, you can't put I said, yeah, watch me, lady. And I was the only, and I rode Western. I had leather chaps with fringe on them. I mean, it was spurs.
What does it mean? What does Stew Ball mean?
It's a stew. It's a mush. It's a meatball you put in your stew.
I've never heard that.
Well, yeah, it's part of the stew. It's the meat part of the stew.
Have you ever heard of a stew ball?
No. Anyway,
nobody's.
No, I never even got to my birthdays or history list. I guess I'll have to do it later.
All right. Well, speaking of later,
yes,
before
I
die. We asked Friday if you'd like to write an obit for the Kimmer.
I totally forgot this whole thing.
And Dan has taken us up on it.
Obit for the Kimmer.
It's the first time I've read it. So.
All right. And I haven't seen it or anything about it.
You haven't really? You haven't read it?
No.
All right, here we go. It's the
Flounder said when it came in, I have no idea.
All right, you sure?
Yeah.
All right. It's the Kimmer's obituary by Dan. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Friends and fans will recognize that as the way the Kimmer's opening line went. Sadly, the Kimmer is no longer with us. We lost the Kimmer when he was involved in a fierce battle with the Democrat Communist Party as the Kimmer led the charge to retake the country. The Kimmer survived by 2 wonderful daughters, a son-in-law, beautiful and talented grandchildren, a starter wife, a favorite ex-wife, common law partner Pete Davis. Anyone who listens to the Kimmer Show knows he and Pete argued like an old married couple. Friend Denise, who provided funds to the Kimmer after several bad investments and stream of bad luck. Golfing buddy Danny McLefty, and good friend Bill Sheehan, who gave him tickets to the Masters. The Kimmer had a great life. He was an athlete, singer, and all-around stud in the Northeast while attending grade school and high school. After enlisting in the Marine Corps, the Kimmer attended Arizona State and Michigan State. He was a disc jockey, TV reporter, amateur weatherman, radio personality, and dropped podcasts. He got to meet and associate with people such as Carol Burnett, Phil Donahue, Jim Nabors, golly, and Leslie Dove. He is also known for hitting a home run in batting practice at Wrigley Field, and weirdly stalking good-looking women around Publix. He got to live and visit many places, including Atlanta, New Orleans, Chicago, Florida, and San Francisco. His goal in life was to shoot his age, but never happened. He had the amazing ability to repeat stories that can only be topped by Sean Hannity.
Oh, my God.
The Kimmer also had the ability to take any story about anything and turn it around to be all about him within minutes. minutes, seconds. The Kimmer loved animals, especially Jack the Good Boy. He taught us to love animals and learn from them every day. We are all going to miss the Kimmer. Semper Fi.
Well, Alfie, that is unbelievable.
It's nicer than it should have been, frankly.
Holy cow. Dan the man. I know Dan. Dan's been a listener for a long time.
That's right.
I'm going to keep this.
You should frame it. It's pretty nice.
Oh, my goodness. By the way.
What would you change?
Oh, I wouldn't. I would. I'd change it. I would deleted a couple of words in there.
You probably would have added stew ball.
I would add something. Well, he's not supposed to know that. He wouldn't know that. Well, that's
he knows everything else.
Well, anyway, if you want to write an obituary for what you think Pete Davis would be a good obituary, or Flounder for that matter, we'd love to hear it.
It's unthankful for people to think that I'm no longer here. It's unthinkable.
Well, I think I wouldn't be possible. By the way, you want to hear a thing of how I can do a thing with turning around with a thing with somebody else?
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of Robert Kennedy Jr. Doing his push-ups? And
that guy's built.
I tell you what,
here
man,
to pomp, womp.
Yeah. And by the way, in fact, let's do. Was it 4:20? Okay, let's do this for a few minutes. Pete and I were just talking before the show about politics, and I will say that I heard the noon guys saying that, well, I don't think Joe Biden's going to be the presidential nominee after all. I've been saying that for a year and a half. When Joe Biden was elected, I said he's never going to be. He's not going to run again. They're going to throw him down the stairs. He's going to fall in the shower. There's too much that's going to happen between now and election. I've said it from the beginning. He is not going to be the nominee. Now, I could be very wrong. I'm usually wrong, but I've said that from the beginning. So this is not new. However, I think now, and Pete, what do you think? I think there's growing things. I think there's more than one thing that are growing and kind of seeping into the cracks of the the concrete wall they've tried to put up between us and the president.
Well, two things I saw on Twitter this past weekend was CNN was covering this, and so was Chuck Todd.
Yeah. When Chuck Todd starts saying anything about, there's a problem or an issue, and CNN again,
and this
they
was
went
Saturday
backwards
and
again.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Usually they would have gone with other stories to kill it, but they didn't.
Yeah. What's his face? Who just said Todd?
Chuck Todd.
He's Baghdad Bob for this administration.
Yes, he is. And now Pete was making a point. I said, well, what are they going to do? They can't run Carmela. And I think they
can. She's known nationally. She's black. She's a woman.
Her?
And as someone's pointed out last week, Gavin Newsom is unknown in South Carolina. And South Carolina pretty much right now has been deciding that's how it saved Joe Biden last time, because they knew Joe Biden. And that's how they can get the black vote behind, especially the women, behind someone like a Biden. Well, they can get her behind Harris. Why would they get behind Gavin Newsom? They don't know who he is. He's some pretty white boy that comes in.
But what I've always said, Gavin Newsom looks like a presidential candidate like Gary Hart did and John Kerry did and the guy from...
Michael Douglas.
Yeah, exactly.
For the movies.
Exactly. John Kerry. I mean, you go back after year after year after year, look at the Democratic presidential candidates, and he looks and acts, he shows up at the White House with his coat off, sleeves rolled up. I mean, he's been doing it for years. And he's the worst governor of the worst state. Is his policy. He had a guy arrested for kayaking in the ocean for not wearing a mask. I mean, come on. How is it possible?
Well, he's at a French restaurant.
But they're not. I can't. I would bet you everything I have, and which is nothing. So it's hard to lose. That Carmela will never be the presidential ticket holder.
Then it's Michelle. It's Michelle Obama.
And she
can't be Hillary. She's too old, and she's got too much baggage. And they're going to run, watch his face, Newsom 4 years from now. I mean, 5, 6 years from now.
I won't debate you on that. Very likely. But they're not going to run a chick. They've already run. They've had a girl as vice president as a disaster.
That's why.
And they want an elevator to be president now. Borders are my ass. You never even went there.
Could this be 72 all over again, where you had the outsider McGovern come out of nowhere? Could that be RFK this year?
Yeah. Yes.
I love the meme over the weekend. It showed our health guy, who's a mentally ill transvestite, basically, and they put his picture up against RFK with his shirt off and say, here's the guy they're calling crazy that doesn't know what he's talking about health-wise, and here's the guy in charge of the nation's health.
Yeah, the former Pennsylvania health secretary who moved her mother, his mother, it's a guy, who moved his mother into a safer place so mother wouldn't get COVID kill disease. And then this is the same guy who pretends he's a girl with a wig and wearing a dress and high heels in a Navy admiral's uniform. Freaking disgrace. Absolutely. In fact, I swear to God, I would go to jail for this. I think if I were at a ceremony or someplace and he showed up, I think I'd rip the dress. I think I would say, you don't, this is wrong. I'm sorry. And just get in a fight. I'd make him fight me. It's just everything about it is wrong.
It's
in the Navy. God, I mean, come on. You'd think the Navy would say, no, sir, please take the freaking dress off. Come on.
It's an embarrassment. It embarrasses us around the world.
And he's in charge of the health of our of armed services.
Well, have you looked at most people in charge of health? In Western civilization, almost all of them are overweight. I mean, morbidly obese.
Yeah, remember they showed all of them that one time, like 15 of them, and they're all fat.
all of them fat. And RFK's the crazy one, doesn't know what he's talking about health-wise.
Well, I think he can save it. I think he can talk about the China virus. I don't think most Americans know what he thought about taking the medicine or the vaccine. He's an anti-vaxxer. Well, most of us are now, so how's that going to hurt?
Well, that's it. Okay. Well, I think he can turn that vaccine. Around. Yeah. We're for polio and German measles. Because you know what? Those were vaccines.
And they worked. The
Salk
vaccine, yeah.
Well, not only that, they took the right time. How long did it, what's the average time it takes to really complete a vaccine?
9 years.
10 to 12 years.
God knows how many people Salk killed before.
Now, anyway, the reason I brought up RFK Jr. was because they showed video of him doing push-ups without his shirt on. He was doing girly push-ups. He was doing like 1 inch off the ground.
I think he can do more.
Well, he wasn't doing them like that. And by the way, I don't know how many he did, but it recalls the time when I was at Paris Island. If you want to know, I can bring about me.
Drop and give us 20.
As a squad leader, we had one time they called. One time they. Oh my God! Well, we're out of time now. I guess the best way to stop my stories is to do this kind of thing. No, it's really, if you don't want to, I was a squad leader. That's why I want to stripe after Paris Island when only 4 guys did. I was a squad leader. One day the drill instructor, Staff Sergeant Luzinski, said, our squad leaders front, sir. 500 squat thrusts, do it. We had to do 500.
I don't know what a squat thrust is. Show me. No, I'm just kidding. You'll kill yourself. This is it. This is the
squat thrust.
The obituary. Don't do this. Really, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt yourself. Oh, please don't do that again.
That's one.
All right. So I think the camera get that.
Now, the problem is, normally the drill instructor's favorite thing is to say, you do about 8 or 9 or 10 of them. He says, oh, that's not doing them. Start over. And so you just do it forever. 500. 2 of the other guys were throwing up. It took us like 2.5 hours
to do it.
500 squat thrusts. And one time for kicks, they made us do 5,000 jumping jacks at Paris Island. 5,000.
I don't know what a jumping jack. Can you show me? I'm just kidding.
Anyway, I'm just sorry. Hoorah, Semper Fi. It's 4:30. Time for the 4:29 break.
Did you hurt yourself?
I did a little hurt. stage appearance at the Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, Elvis would be dead 7 weeks later. The last two songs Elvis performed on this day in 1977 were Hurt and Bridge Over Troubled Water. Before the show, Elvis was presented with a plaque commemorating the 2 billionth record to come out of RCA's pressing plant. Wow. Elvis Presley right there. Quick birthday, Jason Schwartzman, the actor, comedian, 43. He was Max Fisher in Rushmore. Jason Schwartzman is, his mother is Talia Shire.
Really?
And yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he is Francis Ford Coppola's nephew and Nicolas Cage's cousin.
He's in that, Flounder, what's the Netflix thing we like, the comedy guy, Tim Robinson? I Think You Should Leave.
Yes.
He's in this season.
Jason Schwartzman, 43. No, good.
I never cared for him, tell you the truth.
Yeah, I don't.
He was good in Fargo, wasn't he? Remember, he was in Fargo with the guy who couldn't speak, the deaf, the mute guy. They were both murderers, and he was the handler of the deaf guy.
God, I don't
deaf
remember
mute
him.
guy. Yeah,
I'm gonna Google to look because I don't remember that.
It's from the
scene.
TV show, not the movie.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. TV show.
Oh, maybe that's right. I was thinking of the movie. Okay. Oh, cool. Let's see. 1974 on this day, a customer at a. Oh, by the way, we have a message from a former person lady we used to work with. We'll get to it in 1 second. 1974. I'm just kind of teasing ahead here. A customer at the Marsh Supermarket in Troy, Ohio, bought a pack of Wrigley Spearmint Juicy Fruit chewing gum. And for the first time, a laser beam in the checkout terminal on this day in 1974. A laser beam with a barcode reader picked up a UPC barcode symbol on the package and automatically rang up the purchase. That was the first automatic ring-up barcode supermarket deal in 1974. And I remember, and I supported him on this. I remember when President George W. Bush was going through the supermarket and they did this, and he said, "Oh my God, you did it automatically. I didn't even have to do anything." And because the ding-ding, the thing went on. And of course, when's the last time a president, went to the store to buy groceries?
When was the last time that elite douche had been in a grocery store?
So I understood. I could see where he had never. He said, "Oh my God," and the press went, "Oh, you don't even know how to make groceries anymore." Well, for the record, I don't know how much a gallon of milk costs either. How about that? I buy it every freaking 3 or 4 days. I don't know how much it costs. If you ask me, if my life depended on how much a half gallon of freaking regular whole milk costs within 9 cents, I'd be a dead man. I have no idea. $1.94, $7.42, $3.86. Omaha. I don't know.
It was over there off Scott Boulevard. There was a Kroger. Back in the 80s, I remember walking in there, and they were just opening up those things, and people were afraid of them.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do.
No, I don't want to be in that line.
I don't think so. No, try it.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I don't think so. All right. Anyway, I forgot even to say hi. How you doing?
Sarah.
It's 4:38. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer and Pete Davis and Flounder at the controls. And do you have another intern in there? Or somebody new?
We have a new guy, Sutton.
Sutton
Sutton.
the flunky. And what's Sutton's? Is he a college kid, high school kid, or what are we doing?
I'm in.
What's that?
There you go. Yep.
Hey, Sutton, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Who are you? Where you come from?
My name is Sutton Smith from Hamilton, Georgia. Just graduated from the University of Alabama, going back for my master's next year.
Sorry.
No kidding. So what so you're going back this fall for your master's?
Yes, sir.
You are glutton for punishment.
What are you doing this? You used to be out getting the chicks, man. I mean, I can't believe it. All of a sudden he's working at a radio station for the summer.
You can do both at the same time.
Well, no,
multitasker.
It's the younger generation.
Like that.
To me, either I go for the chicks or I come to work. You can't.
First of all, you made up Hamilton. There's no such thing as Hamilton, Georgia.
Yeah, where the hell
Never
is
heard
that?
of it.
It's like 20 minutes north of Columbus. I usually just tell people Columbus.
So that's why north of Columbus.
Now, and just out of curiosity, now are you going to be? Do you have any history in radio, or do you want to be in radio, or why in the world are you here? What's your goal?
Well, I want to be doing something in sports journalism one day. I've done I've had some on-air stuff doing TV, and then I've been a journalist, and now I wanted to get the radio perspective of everything.
Okay.
So kind of.
But you want to be in sports?
Yes, sir.
Sports reporting, like an on-air guy or a producer or run a network or what?
I know you have to. Well, from working from here, I know you got to work your way up.
Yeah.
So start off probably behind the scenes and maybe get on air one day.
And of course, we have, this is the Dickey people, so we have the 680 people. Do you work with them over there? And are
Yes,
you
sir.
sucking up
Yes,
to those
sir.
guys?
I'll be with you guys for the next couple of weeks.
Well, hey,
Sucking up to
Shapiro,
you
how's
guys
it going, man? Gonna get you anything? Wash your car? I don't know who is. I don't know who's over there.
Well, he ain't.
I don't know. What do I know? I'm not supposed to go down there. That's dangerous territory. You go out our door here in the studio. If you go to the right, that's where the 680 people are. And they don't like people coming down there and talking.
Matt Egger says that Nick Cellini thinks you don't like him.
I love Nick Cellini.
I told him he thinks you all guys look alike.
Well, they all do look alike.
He loves everybody.
That doesn't mean I don't like him.
He doesn't remember names.
I just remember who you are.
I tell you, there's one thing that really needs to come back everywhere: name tags. If you could have name tags at work or at a party, yes. Oh, hey, Bill, there you are. Yes.
That's like the Seinfeld episode, where, and they have to kiss everybody hello every time you see them at the
That's
elevator.
why we have the words chief and ace and bud.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you.
Hey, sport.
you.
Chief. Hey, pal.
Hey, champ, come over here.
Pally.
Okay, now, the lady we used to work with, God, this had to be at least 15 years
This
ago.
is the
probably?
mid-90s.
Yeah,
Mid-90s,
20 years ago.
25
Oh, my
years ago.
God.
Almost 30.
Holy
Because she was there in
crap.
96. She was down
Well,
at the
that's
Olympics.
almost 30 years.
Well, I think when the bomb blew, I think
Well,
she was
that
down
can't
there
be
with us.
right.
Yeah.
All right,
Her
so
name-
tell the story here. Yeah.
Her name's Sarah. Cute, blonde,
I remember
Midwestern
cute
girl.
Sarah. Yep.
Or she was
sweet,
going to
wholesome, very
Kansas.
nice.
Yeah, she was. And basically, she goes, "Hi, Pete. I did my internship 100 years ago with you and Jeremy, the late, great Jeremy
Yeah.
Ferguson at GST. You guys recorded me saying, 'Shut your hole,' and played it on air a lot. Any chance you still got it? My kids don't believe the story about it."
What, do you remember the story about it?
No.
It was, well, shut your pie hole or whatever, but it must have been just a thing like to throw in as a generic scream of some kind. I don't remember the thing at all. But I remember what a nice thing. And that got us almost 30 years.
Yeah. 27 years ago, basically.
Holy cow. That's not even right. Okay. Oh, by the way, here's our phone number. I'm not doing very well at the talk show without leaving out the talk segment.
Talking.
Anyway, 404-741-1230. 741-1230. And that's our phone number. And if you'd like to join us, and again, on anything, it's open lines anytime. It's a talk show. So if you want to, and again, if you're nervous about this because you're probably listening on your app on your phone, if you put the phone number in your phone, when you dial it, as soon as we put you on hold, you can hear the show again. So you're not missing any of the actual programming. 404-741-1230. Okay, a couple things that broke. This amazes me that I haven't heard much reaction to it. The Supreme Court of the United States has upheld the part of the law, the federal law, that says people who encourage illegal immigration are breaking the law. And the court rejected arguments that the law is too broad or violates the Constitution. The court said, no. If you encourage people to illegally break the law, becoming illegal immigration break-in sneakers, a person who encourages or induces a non-citizen to come to or remain in the United States illegally can be punished up to 5 years in prison. It's 10 years if the person doing the encouraging is doing so for personal financial gain. Holy crap! Every Democrat is guilty of this.
Yep.
Every Democrat in the administration is guilty of encouraging illegal immigration to break the law and sneak into our country. Every freaking one of them. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You are correct, sir.
Everyone. And the court said, well, you can be arrested. Well, not them. No, you're not going to arrest them. I mean, I'm so, there's your country. This is our country. This is it. It's against the law. All you Democrats who are trying to make sure people get in here illegally. Yeah, well, it's against the law.
But we've known that for decades.
I know.
And they just keep getting away with it.
The Supreme Court, Friday, the Supreme Court just said, by the way, for the record, I mean, it's the
main thing our federal government was set up for was defense, and it can't even do that now.
All right, a couple of new things. And then I got to get to
we got a call, too, by the way.
Oh, well, let's take it now. Who you got there?
I got Tom.
Tom's on the horn there on Extra 106.3. Hello, Tom. Welcome aboard. Thanks for calling, sir.
Kimmer, man, I'm so glad you're back, buddy.
Thanks,
I did
man.
a couple rides with you at Earl Smalls.
I miss those charity rides, those Cobb County Coppers and everything. That was a lot of fun, man. That was fun.
I rode with you a couple times. What happened to Wayne?
Wayne, no offense, got smart. When they hired me back in 2013 to come out of retirement, the first thing I did was I called Pete and I called Wayne, and Wayne said, "No, my wife will never let me go back to work with you again."
I got a great picture of you and I, Wayne and I at Earl Smalls. But
I'll send it to me. We'll put it on Facebook. Yes.
I will. I was just curious, what happened to the fantasy goddess and the hairbrushing?
Well, clearly, I thought it was working, and actually, it's the reason I'm going after the VA, who would give me stuff, because it was 20 years ago when I had my cancer diagnosis, and turned out to be pretty much the beginning of the end of my marriage. So I'm going to get back at everybody I can, and including.
Look, the music's playing.
But anyway, Tom, listen, thanks, man. Everything's fine. I'll be good. Thanks, man. I got to go. You're killing me. Coming up, the latest on the unions and DeSantis, and why don't we start killing cartel members at the border? I like it. 4:45 on Extra 106.3. disposal, demonstrating hostile action, you have to be able to meet that with the appropriate use of force.
Yep.
I don't see how you can just let them do that and carve through a wall on sovereign U.S. territory with a backpack full of drugs. Of course you use deadly force. I mean, would you let somebody just break into your house and do you harm? No, I can tell you in Texas they wouldn't let you do that, DeSantis said. These guys bring in blowtorches and so forth. I mean, it's unacceptable. I tell you, if you drop a couple of these cartel operatives trying to do that, you're not going to have to worry about that anymore. They will not mess with you. They're only messing with it because they know they can get away with it. Need to drop a few of these cars, need to kill them, deadly force at the border.
Exactly.
Period. Duh.
That's why I like this guy.
I mean, this is getting pretty cool. 457. Oh, by the way, how's this for a difference? Have you heard about the hideous and disgraceful DeKalb County DA Sherry Contrary Boston is her name? She says she's not going to charge any of the domestic terrorist protesters who hate police, shoot at police, Molotov cocktails at police. She loves those people sticking in that freak forest, and she's not going to arrest any of them. She's not going to charge any of them. She's not going to prosecute any of them whatsoever. Of course, the state state attorney general is begging to differ, Mr. Carr. But she's Sherry Contrary Boston. DA DeKalb says, I'm not going to do it. Ironically, other biased, unattractive, hate-filled, racist lawyers who agree with DeKalb DA Sherry Contrary Boston that liberal terrorists should go free also agree with a new proposal for each police agency in DeKalb County that she says, whenever pulling over a black motorist, a white officer will approach the vehicle with the following dialogue. Hey, Holmes, I can dig it. He ain't going to lay no big mo rep on me, ya. You know what they say, see abroad to get that booty action? Lay it down, smack 'em, yak 'em. You're free to go. Sorry to bother you. Have a nice day. That's from now on in DeKalb County.
Allegedly.
I don't think a lot of people are going to go along with this Sherry Contrary
I wanna
Boston
check.
girl.
Did she get Soros money to let the black shirts
I think
free?
she got $45 million in her checking account. That was a rumor. And apparently she also believes in pulling the wings off flies and then setting them on fire when they
she
wiggle.
does that.
Yeah, that was. She used to do that as a kid with a magnifying glass in the summer vacation time. Sherry Contrary Boston, the DA, DeKalb County DA. Somebody told me that she used to pull the wings off flies and then with a magnifying glass, she'd set them on fire with the sun.
Did you ever spray them with Lysol?
No.
And then let it on fire? 'Cause
No.
it burns with an invisible flame.
Oh, even better. I bet she did that. Yeah. And somebody asked the DeKalb County DA, Sherry Contrary, if she used to when she would set him on fire, did she use the invisible flame or just the regular flame?
You just see him writhe around. You didn't know
they're
why.
wiggling. Oh, it's really funny for the first 12, 13 seconds. It's pretty funny. After that, you know, it's kind of get crusty. Anyway, DeKalb County Sherry Contrary. Oh, boy. Anyway, well, more coming up on what she believes in and why nobody else does. Holy crap, it's almost 5 o'clock. Holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis. And I got a bunch of sports things here, including, well, now I've forgotten. No, we'll talk about Braves baseball and the World Series, baseball World Series college. 24 runs? Holy cow.
Embarrassing.
It's all coming up. 5 o'clock with a camera, Pete and Flounder. At Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of leg. Ready on your dog. Target. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. An extra 106.3 with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical angler Flounder at the controls with Sutton. I think it was our new trainee intern. Welcome aboard. Good to have you aboard. Anyway, here's the phone number, 404-741-1230. 741-1230. And we love phone calls. And Holy Crap at Sports coming up shortly. We'll also have we have a couple of tweets to do, and we may even do a little Skynet artificial intelligence thing. And by the way, every day I'm coming across an article on artificial intelligence which just astounds me.
It's several a day.
I mean, and it's, well, now it shows in the medical practice, they can make sure that every diagnosis and everything, and holy cow, I mean, we can't stop it.
What gets me is this new one that you sent me saying that they're using it to find dentists or finding cavities because they're not biased. I'm going, what makes a dentist biased?
Yeah, biased against a cavity? But you love cavities?
I don't like molar cavities.
You don't like them in the lower teeth. I didn't know
you don't like them. Well, you're not going to have it.
Dental.
What does that mean?
Cavity bias.
So now you got to worry if you're a dentist.
Maybe they're just making up excuses to say we need AI. I mean, there's no such thing as cavity bias. I don't know what that means.
You look at the thing and it's X-ray. Either there's a hole there or there's not.
And by the way, have you tried to read an X-ray? You know, unless you're, you can, a little gray thing, what does that mean? I mean,
they're making it up.
Speaking of sports, by the way, the hideous Michael Vick is 43 today. That's around 300 in tortured dog years. Yeah. Let's see. And Derek Jeter. Oh, by the way, here's how Flounder's fairly unusual a guy in Britain. He sends over
light
stuff.
Loafers.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say anything. Here's how he describes a birthday list. Derek Jeter is 49. Dreamy, retired New York Yankee shortstop. In high school, he was president of the Latin Club, and he never, ever cusses. True story. Derek Jeter never says a bad word.
He doesn't manage.
He was the president of the Latin Club. Omnia Gallia Duedes and Tres Partes. Gricola. Oh, sorry. No, it's, I was, I was going to get my PhD in that. No, it's good. Okay.
Where'd you get that PhD?
Michigan State.
Well, actually, Michigan State, it's the other one I'm worried about.
Arizona State?
Yeah, that worries me.
I graduated with honors, mister. 4 years of college in 2 years.
Even Sutton's laughing in there.
I went to summer school, I went to night school and full-time day school and worked 7 days a week.
I bet there's a lot of summer school at Arizona State.
Oh, my God. You guys are absolutely unbelievable. All right, anyway, in case you just joined us, a couple of quick updates. The business, or one of the, Fox News reporter girls, a White House correspondent, Jackie Heinrich. You've seen her before, probably. President Scuzzball, the showers with daughter, was walking into the White House area talking about his business plans, and she said, Mr. President, did you lie about never speaking with Hunter about his business deals? No. Did you ever speak with Hunter about his business? Fun, off he goes. I mean, just, they've got him. It's clear that he's been lying all along, and now the problem is he's got to keep lying. There's no way he can suddenly say, well, you got me.
No. Who did that, though? Who finally said, oh, okay, I did it? Who did that recently?
I do remember something in the back of my head about somebody saying you got me.
Oh, Pete Rose. Pete Rose finally said, okay, I did it.
I gambled, yeah. But, he's stuck. And again, I don't think he's going to be on the ticket. I don't think they're going to have, and I think, if nothing else, he's going to fall down. He's going to have a problem. Say, well, we really can't do that. But they're talking about it. They got to make plans. And I'll bet my prediction is, as much as everybody in the Democrat Party apparently so far hates Robert Kennedy Jr., I'll bet he's the guy. I'll bet he has a better chance of being their nominee for the Democrat Party other than Newsom or who's the little midget married his boyfriend guy, the transportation guy. Bougie Fudge. There's no way he's going to. And Carmela, Pete still thinks she'll be the leader of the ticket. I can't believe it.
If they get in a debate, RFK will kill them.
I'll kill them all. And that's why you'll never see Biden. I mean, I don't think he'll even be on the stage. And by the way, do I remember that I think the first debates for the Republican Party are in a couple of months?
Really?
I mean, soon, yeah.
I didn't know.
This fall.
Who's going to be there?
I don't know. We got again, they're still, I don't know. Anyway, he's still, President Pervert still denying anything to do with the thing there. Idiot. And again, just an amazing story. The Al Jazeera Constitution has actually come out with a story from the wire services of the whistleblower says Justice Department slowed and stifled the Hunter Biden case. And by the way, let me make this point again before I forget, because it's very, very important. There are a lot of guys talking about this today. Over the weekend. The federal judge who is going to sentence Hunter Biden can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
The deal was Hunter pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor, and the process, and of course the local state's attorney said, "Well, we'll make this deal with him," but it's up to the judge. Now, from what I understand of the commentators, and these are U.S. attorneys, I've heard talking about this all weekend long, looking up stuff like this. It has never happened where a offender who lied in a federal form and a gun charge has ever been given a diversion as a misdemeanor when there's other evidence showing that he was involved with bad behavior as part of the whole world. There's pictures of Hunter Biden naked, holding a loaded gun with hookers and cocaine and drugs. And the whole background of what's going on that's now in public, a judge is going to have to take all that into consideration. He can't just say, well, because you guys think he should not do any jail time, it's okay with me. A judge, it has never happened in American history that a person with a criminal record with felonies involving a drug charge has ever been given a diversion as a misdemeanor. It's never happened.
How does someone who is allegedly clean, no longer on drugs, get a diversion thing?
Yeah.
It's only for people on drugs.
Well, the fix. The fix is in. And now we're going to see. I forgot who the judge is, and I don't know his or her. I think it's a woman.
We'll see if they're on the take.
Well, we're going to find out if they have any balls. We're going to find out if a judge clearly. There's no way in hell that you can tell me that looking at the Hunter Biden case with all that's been involved with him. And by the way, the judges have to look at the person in general. And now the person in general we know has been, cheating on his taxes, been charged with federal crimes, and all the. A judge has to look at all the whole enchilada.
The judge has to look and see who in the DNC is either going to give the okay or threaten them. That's what that judge is
or who he
at.
thinks is going to be the next president in case it's going to be a Republican to get rid of him, impeach him or something. I can't wait to see what the judge is going to...
They're not afraid of Republicans.
Well, that's true.
The Marxists are who they're afraid of.
Yeah, they'll dox you and they'll ruin you. But again, the judge, this is up to the judge. He or she, and for some, I think it's a woman. I'm not...
Yeah, I think it
for
is.
For some reason, I can't...
Or is that Trump's is a woman? Trump's judge.
I think, I'm confused. Sorry, which is how unusual. Anyway, and speaking of Trump, by the way, it's 5:11. We've got a holy crap of sports in a second. Speaking of sports, the charity golf tournament, Buffalo Bills safety football player Jordan Poyer has had a charity event, and he's very excited about this year's event in July at Doral Country Club, Blue Monster at Trump National, where I played with Jim Brown and Lawrence Taylor, the Blue Monster. And so the celebrity charity golf tournament by the Buffalo Bills safety Jordan Poyer was set for Trump National Doral. He said this year's event was being held at one of Jordan's favorite courses in South Florida, the Blue Monster, a PGA course where Tiger Woods won the Doral Open 2 years in a row back in 05 and 06. And then, unfortunately, we were sadly surprised by negative comments by some individuals to make this a political battle and continue to divide our community. We condemn any type of violence and stand by our Jordan friend as he continues to work to make a positive impact, to be a role model for our community. There was a huge sponsor of the event. Golfers withdrew because it was a Trump National. They didn't want to take part in any tournament in which they took part last year because of where it's at, Trump Doral in South Florida. They decided they can't take pressure from the top, from the people above them, and probably has nothing to do with all of the charity event they're supposed to get the money. And he says, I'm not naive. I understand they're on the political spectrum, where New York is a political spectrum, but this is Florida. Do I agree with this? No, I don't. I can't believe it. He called for, and then the football player says, my God, let's have at least a little unity among Americans. I believe in the universal law that energy you put in is the energy you get back, and we're not doing that right now. All we do is fight with each other all freaking day, fight with each other about politics, religion, race. The issues that come up are the issues we create. It blows my mind that we sit here in America today with these ridiculous issues, and they've canceled the charity event at Trump's golf course because of Donald Trump. And the liberals and some of those golfers don't want to take part in a charity event linked with Donald Trump. You selfish stinkers.
Burn in.
God. Charity for people who need the money. And oh, my God. Well, I don't want to be around Donald Trump. These are the same people who wouldn't vote for conservatives in Georgia's Senate races either. Well, you get what you deserve, numbnuts. God, making me sick. 513. Peach next. Bees next.
sending it home. go for a little.
I need power.
Little Timmy stuck under a tree in Rock Canyon. Anyway, Braves took 2 out of 3 up in Cincinnati. All 3 games ended with 1-run outcomes. I'm telling you right now, the Reds are like the Blue Jays. They're a young team that are not afraid of the Braves.
They're not scared. Yeah,
they're too young to know better. And they're not. And I fear for them if we meet them again in the playoffs because they could get lucky. Just a bounce here. The Braves scored 10 runs Friday. You should win a game when you score 10 runs, but they ended up losing.
Yeah.
What's with the ballpark? Great American Ballpark, I guess.
Great American Small Park.
Yeah.
Is that why coaches don't like it because so many people can hit home runs?
It's down by the Ohio River. It's very humid, and it's a very small park, and it's very humid, and the ball just travels.
Stays in the air.
Like, did you see the one Marcel Ozuna hit
Oh, my
Saturday?
God, yeah.
He popped that up, and it kept going.
He barely even swung at it.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's like a Yankee Stadium home run.
Yeah,
That's
right
just
field,
bad.
305 or something.
Matt Olson smashed another homer.
Offering on the way, and that's lifted in the air deep down the left field line. That's slicing towards the pole. That is a fair ball and a home run. Matt Olson makes him pay the price. A 3-run homer down the line, and it's 6-3 Atlanta.
Now,
Another homer by Matt, and this time it's a big one.
Ben Ingram has the best eyesight in all the sport. How did he know the nationality of that man the ball was heading toward him? He called him a Pole.
No, we don't really think, sir, that would not necessarily.
Twins in town for 3 starting tonight. Spencer Strider against Sonny Gray. Michael Soroka might start Wednesday's game. They might
good.
bring him
He's
up.
back, maybe,
he almost pitched a no-hitter last week.
Yeah,
he's doing well.
Yeah, good.
A.J. Smith-Shawver sent down to Gwinnett, and reliever Derek Rodriguez brought up. And by the way, every day this week, it's going to get hotter here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So if you're going to the ball games, it's going to
be near 100 by the end of the week.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be really hot. So just make sure you're dressed for hot when you get here. In fact, ladies, you should wear almost nothing.
Well, that would be my choice.
That would be, too. Mets doing Mets things yesterday. Did you hear about this?
What?
Buck Showalter's got to be fired at some point. Nice guy, but come on. They were leading the Phillies 6-3 in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
And the Mets pitcher took the mound. All right. The Phillies got walked 3 times. They were hit twice. Reached on an error. Had just 1 hit in a 10-batter, 4-run 8th inning and beat the Mets 7-6. I mean, even Gary Cohen, the Mets announcer, he's been there a long time, called it the most horrific loss of the season.
Well, you can't walk 3 guys and hit 2 guys. That's 2 runs right there. You know what I mean? My God.
It's the Mets being the Mets. We can laugh.
Oh, mercy.
College World Series final game tonight after the Gators spanked the Bayou Bengals yesterday. Was it 24-4?
24 run. And again, they were losing. Florida was down.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bam. And it just every hit they hit was going out of the park or a double in the gap. Really pretty
It's
cool.
nothing
Fun
like
game.
the sound of the dink of the
Dink.
ball.
Yeah, I hate that
Dink.
clank.
And there was not a new record. Everyone's talking about this. There was not a new record set for Jell-O shots this year.
Oh.
It is not a real contest if you have rich people calling in from out of state and flashing a credit card to buy
To
Jell-O
make
shots
one,
that nobody can drink because there's too many of them.
Yeah.
One guy called up and bought like 10,000 of them.
Yeah, I remember you saying
30,000.
that.
There's not enough people there to drink all of those.
Plus,
at
what's
once.
the point? Is it money going to charity? I mean,
No,
where's
it's
all the
going
money
to
going?
Rocco. It's going to Rocco's pub or whatever it is, Cantina.
Well, people
That's
are so
what-
stupid. They're just giving this guy free money that he knows he can
Well.
just take the money and now I can't make the drinks or I can't make 10,000 shots in 20 minutes.
First of all, they're from Louisiana.
Well, I guess so.
All right, there. Even
But what a
Sutton
scam. Why, we should do that. We should have an internet scam. You know, we're trying to set a record this year for dollar shots. By God, hits only the camera. Come on, boys and
Yeah.
girls.
Come on, LSU.
It's just a stunt for him
You
to
can
raise
beat
money.
Alabama. Come
It's
on.
not a contest. It's his personal thing. He's getting rich.
They should only count the shots sold there in the bar
Yeah.
to actual human beings standing
Drink
there
'em.
ready to slurp them
Yeah,
down.
right.
You can't call in and order 10,000
No,
of them. That's just
stupid.
BS.
Well, it's a gimmick. The guy's just getting. I mean, what a scam!
Right,
What
all
a
that-
great idea!
It's a new record. No, it's not.
It's not a thing. It's not a contest. The guy just says,
Okay.
"Here, buy my drinks."
Matt Olson is now tied for the major leagues with Shohei, I think, for the most home runs, right?
Yeah.
Right. What if someone like Pete Rose called in and said, I'd like to order 10,000 home runs.
there
I
you
mean,
go.
come on. Okay, that analogy means absolutely nothing but forget.
No, that's the thing.
And the Hawks have finally traded John Collins. They're sending him to Utah for Rudy Gay. who is basically the only gay man in Utah.
Well,
So I don't know. A second-round pick and ski lift passes for Park City. In other words, they're not getting anything for him because Rudy Gay's, 37, 38 at this point?
Not good, yeah.
He was once very good.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: have you?
No, go ahead.
What's that 6'5" shortstop who's the superstar Dela Cruz or Santa Cruz?
Ellie Dela Cruz for the Redlegs.
Oh my God!
What a cycle!
What a superstar in the main, and for a guy who's 6'5" playing shortstop, he can move.
He's there.
Did you see him run out that triple?
Yeah.
Oh, you probably didn't, but unless you're getting the highlights. But he was going to go for the cycle. He had a home run and the single and double, and then he knocks one in the gap. And as soon as he saw it going into the gap, man, he was, that's the fastest leg movement I remember seeing. For a guy that big, he can really scoot. He made it easily into third.
I hope he's got the great attitude. He does not have a Javi Baez attitude.
They all love him.
Or the Tim Anderson attitude or something like that.
I think he's a great guy. Seems like a great kid. They all love him. They're all over him. He's all laughing and smiling. I mean, he just seems like what a great summer this kid's about to have, and he looks like he's blossoming into some real stardom.
There's a lot of...
Oh, no, wait a minute. I needed the money.
A lot of good young stars in baseball right now. It's good to see that the young kids are coming up. They're bringing them up sooner, too.
Is this the same player that fouled a ball off on his knee? I thought he was going to be taken out of the game, and the guy kept on playing. It happened this weekend against Cincinnati. He fouled it right off his knee.
Oh, I didn't.
And he was out for a minute, and he walked it off, and both of the trainers were like,
sounds like him.
Do this, and
I don't know. Also, by the way, speaking of being ejected, more in the three blind mice thing, Pete. Actually, the ruling for Major League Baseball official rules book says no manager, player, substitute, anybody else can do it anytime, incite or try to incite by word or sign a demonstration by spectators. So if you do something that's trying to get the crowd to do something that shouldn't be done, they can throw you out of a ballpark. And some of the other famous cases that have happened, they're talking about here. The name Bruce Fleming. Mm-hmm. He once completely cleared out the entire press box because somebody started making cat calls, and you're all out. He threw the whole press box out of the ballpark.
There was something back in the 50s, I think the 50s, in a Pirates game where one of the players was riding him pretty bad. So the umpire threw out the entire Pirates bench, basically threw out the entire dugout, except the guys on the field. And it turned out later is one guy who was a ventriloquist who was he was pretending to be one of the guys.
Oh, I love it. Anyway, holy crap at sports with Pete Davis. How you doing? Are you still doing your sports podcast a couple times a week?
Yes, I am. In fact, I'll do one later tonight.
Excellent. How about a little Kimmer's Cuties story? Would you like the little Kimmer's Cuties story? This is making social media, which I thought was...
There's nothing that would please me more.
Well, sort of a social media kind of a Kimmer's Cuties happy story. If you have children and you have to have and schedule birthday parties, you know how mothers and fathers scheduling birthday parties can go. Well, a couple named Elle and Edie have 4-year-old twins, and their twins say, we want unicorns, we want bats, we want princess designs, and a place to dance.
We want a cheeseburger.
Yeah, exactly. You'll get nothing like it.
a hot dog.
Well, here's what the mom said, and this has been viewed literally millions of times. She sent out invitations that went like this. Mm-hmm. As requested, the theme will be unicorns, but with rainbows, and maybe bats, but there should be princesses and also Minnie, and we need dancing lights. So dress accordingly. Please pack a bathing suit, sunscreen, puddle jumpers, etc., in case your sweet baby angels decide our original plan sucks and the pool would be a much better time. We're going to have some stuff to do, but we have zero expectation the kids are going to follow what we've set up to do. So if they just want to run around and scream, then we'll make sure we have lots of Advil too. Anyway, she just, talk about the kids' birthday parties, and all kids are like that, and all families are like that, and it's been like literally 5 million or something views of hers talking about little children's birthday. I thought it was kind of cute here to mention the thing. Now, of course, that was stupid. All right, now, I have one more. Oh, did you hear about this? This was very bizarre. A janitor in Troy, New York. By the way, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute was one of the colleges my dad went to, RPI, very famous engineering college. RPI. Anyway, at RPI, there's a laboratory, a research university, RPI in Troy, New York, and the Daigle Cleaning Services does the cleaning for them.
What?
Well, the Daigle Cleaning Services.
How do you spell that?
Daigle.
Oh.
Not Dago. Dago Cleaning Services.
Well, you didn't have to say it.
Well, but if I could get to the story. Anyway, so there's the cleaner was cleaning. There was a freezer there, and so the cleaner said, there was an annoying noise. He said there was an annoying alarm going off. He went to open the electrical box to stop the incessant beeping and believed he was turning on the electrical breakers when he actually was turning them off. The problem was what he was turning off was the freezer section to the circuit breaker, storing these cell samples, cultures, and other scientific elements at minus 112 degrees Fahrenheit. It rose to way warm Fahrenheit when the freezer was turned off and all the contents are destroyed. And that's about $1.4 million they have to do all over again, starting from scratch. And now they're being sued. The engineer says, hey, I thought I did him a favor. It was making a beeping noise and I turned it off.
I don't feel so bad now when I go home and have to take my Ben & Jerry's New York Super Fudge chunk ice cream out and throw it away.
And by the way, another airline incident. Oh, it's coming up. 5:30 already. We got that. We got stuff, actual funny stuff, too, coming up, including a comedian bit on dating and happy love. Next. Look out. $5:33. Great to have you with us. Here's a phone number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. It's good to have you aboard with Pete Davis and Flounder and Sutton. Is it Sutton? I'm trying to remember that now.
Sutton.
Our new intern. Okay, couple things. So I mentioned the airline worker. Unify Aviation's a company that Delta uses, along with other airlines, to support ground handling operations. And at San Antonio International Airport the other day, one of the workers was on the scene, and there was the pilot had just arrived from Los Angeles to San Antonio. He had one engine running when the worker employed by the airline's company got sucked into the engine and was,
Zart.
Yeah. We're deeply saddened by the loss of our employees and remain focused on employees. The incident was unrelated to any operational process or safety procedure, so apparently the person just screwed up. And you'll recall, we talked last week about the health and safety people fined Piedmont Airlines, of American Airlines subsidiary, fined them when a lady walked in front of the engine and got sucked into that and died. And it just wasn't paying attention. The engines weren't shut off, and there's very strict rules. If the engines are going, stay away. I mean, you can't go anyway. Whatever. But a second time, 2 times, and I mean, it's just horrible. Let's see. This is kind of bizarre. Elon Musk's newest SpaceX employee is named Karan Kwazi. He says about himself, I was speaking in full sentences at age 2. I started doing programming at 7. I was reading complicated books at 6 or 7. My parents took me to a Barnes & Noble, and I wanted to buy a pre-calculus book. That was my first exposure to very advanced math, and unbeknownst to my parents, I learned it. I started doing community college at 9. He enrolled in Livermore, California Community College at 9, and then transferred to Santa Clara University to study computer science. Was the youngest ever graduate. He says, it feels natural. I'm with people I completely be myself around. I don't have to censor my speech or conversations. I'm active on campus. Have a lot of close friends, few professors. My experience in traditional schools was a slow suffocation for me. It was painful. I received a variety of infractions because it turns out that teachers don't really like it when you want to be the co-instructor. Sit down, Johnny. He was rejected by 95 companies looking for a job. He eventually got 3 offers, one from Elon Musk, and he's now their new SpaceX engineer at the age of 14.
No.
He's 14. 14. They go through it. SpaceX is known for having a cripplingly rigorous interview process. Quizzy says his experience in the company's 10-round interview process was a lot of fun.
10 rounds.
10 rounds of it, with the toughest people to come, every one after another, to see if they can mess you up. He said the interview process being among the most difficult of any company, it takes something like 0.02% of applicants. That's unbelievable. The kid's 14. And he's their latest technology engineer at SpaceX. Wow. Pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, by the way, this kind of stuck in my craw for a minute. Tell me whether I'm wrong about this. A former deputy named Monique Clark, Alpharetta Police Department, works in the detention center, or did. And what happened was there was a woman arrested by Alpharetta police being booked at the Fulton County North Annex Jail in Alpharetta. The woman was not cooperating. She was cursing at the officer. She was, acting up, and she was fighting him, the officers. She was in front of the scan machine, which takes the mug shot and scans for weapons, okay? So she's in front of the scanning machine that looks for weapons and takes a mug shot. The deputy placed his, and by the way, it says his name is Monique, but it's a man. He placed his right hand on the back of her neck. The woman who was fighting the cops put his right hand on the back of her neck and grabbed the front with his other hand before applying some pressure to hold her still. He said, "Hey, I will chokehold. I advise you to cooperate. Hold your face before you lose your breath. The choice is yours." He was warning her, "Stop it. I've got it, . Well, she passed out. And then he took his hand away. She fell down, was unconscious. Let's see, the police chief, they had body cams and everything, and the police chief, John Robinson, said the officers at the scene did not violate any department policy. They reacted quite well. One officer didn't do anything because he thought Clark was holding the detainee's face up for the machine. The other said it happened so quickly, and he was just telling her, you're going to be in a chokehold unless you stop and cooperate, and he was holding her up in front of the machine. And the chief says, well, it's a potentially serious incident, has to be adjudicated. They arrested him for the assault by a police officer, choking a detainee, facing a felony charge. God, who wants to be a cop? So the person's fighting you. So what? You say sorry. Why don't you just go ahead and go home? I'm sorry I bothered you.
Shoot him.
Jeez, I mean, come on. I just don't get it. I don't know. And the Al Jazeera Constitution. Once again, they have one little teeny story for the last week or so on the Biden business concerning the fact that and by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene pointed out specifically that Hunter Biden, among the other charges is on his tax evasion, he wrote off paying prostitutes through his business as an expense. Human sex trafficking. He listed payments to prostitutes on his tax returns to his company Owasco, brought in his consulting fees. Prostitutes were ordered basically of all the communications where he'd pay for the hookers. He'd book them a flight where he first class tickets, expended all the tickets. Others were on Frontier Airlines. He charged a $25,000 fee to one of his girlfriends, said it was a golf membership. It was actually for membership in the sex club. And he even got caught in the investigation at the first place as an offshoot of the IRS investigating a foreign-based amateur online pornography company. Again, it's just all Hunter Biden. And there's one little teeny story in the Al Jazeera Constitution that mentions, the account also mentions he was leading investigation and what we could do with everything. And they were kind of, detain and mess up the Hunter investigation anyway. At least the Al Jazeera Constitution is good for a little. Oh, but I will say this: there was so sweet. I did have a chance for kind of a happy memory over the weekend, Pete. They did a special tribute to Rays on the River. You ever been to Rays on the River?
I have not.
You know of it, a very famous,
I know of it.
Very, very famous place. Rays on the River celebrating its 40th year. The eatery has helped preserve its very unique location. Chattahoochee River, beautifully landscaped near a walking trail. I remember so much with the final wife. Yes, going to Rays on the River. She wanted to go there so much. And I'm trying to put it all together now. Yeah, I forgot whether she was unhappy with the entree or whether she was unhappy with the hors d'oeuvres, or whether she was unhappy. I think she was unhappy because the valet didn't hit on her, which they always do. I think I was standing too close. He was afraid to hit on my wife if I had. So she was unhappy that I was too close to have so she could laugh at the valet hitting on her because everybody did. God, I'm trying to think of all the reasons she was unhappy. But Rays in the River. I'm going to drive by. I think tonight just remind myself of all the wonderful unhappy memories of something. Love would save you, and you find out. Well, there's happy. I thought there was happiness involved with it. I'm going to drive by there tonight. I'm going to go in the parking lot and just kind of sit there by myself, looking up at the stars and say, the happy, unhappy memories. Yes, I remember now. 30 years. Yes, I remember now. Yes.
Yes, officer. We have this.
It's a guy screaming all by himself in a car. There's nobody else in there, officer.
I'm yelling at her.
I would approach from the right rear if I were you.
Looking back, I don't know if I'd have told that story.
Well, it's all, honestly, it's all linked into the VA. Everything goes back to 20 years when I had my cancer, and then things started happening, and I'm blaming a thing, and now they're jerking me around, and I've got to cup it all together. I've got to bring it all full circle. Once I do that, I'm done.
Okay.
Well, but
once you get your money.
Once I get my...
You'll shut up about it.
542. By the way, I just saw this story. In fact, tell the people, we were just looking at a Fox News story about Barack Hussein Puttipat, the divider-in-chief, the worst president we've ever had for race relations, the biggest hater we've ever had in the White House. And he was complaining about the media coverage of the submarine or something. There were too many negative things in the press these days or something. I was watching Obama.
Okay, there was a ship of invaders that sank off Greece with a lot of people on it. It was overloaded.
Immigrants.
And they had no business going there anyway.
The story was they were told this could sink, and they went on anyway because they were so desperate,
and
they all died.
They're invaders.
They're illegals.
They're military-age men. There's no women or children.
Yeah, right,
They're going to take over, basically, what they're doing. Yeah. In fact, on the island of Kos there, they're hunting women. Especially the Scandinavian women, they're Polish women, that they're working for the summer or whatever. They've literally hunted. Did you hear what Ireland just did?
No.
The government of Ireland put out a thing telling that all women should be inside at 6 p.m. because our new immigrants here have not quite become accustomed yet to Irish customs. Irish customs, like you don't kidnap and rape the women if you see them in the street. So they're punishing the Irish women for these invaders that have come in that are raping the women instead of punishing them and kicking them out.
Wouldn't you?
It's insane. So Obama was bitching that we spent more time talking about the sub than we were these invaders who got what they deserved.
Well, that's of course anything he can do to try to divide the country once again. But but speaking of that sub, I was reading an article by a psychologist, and again, I kind of got into this on Friday when we talked with our friend Amanda about social media, dating, and apps and stuff like that. Here's what a psychologist says about the reason there were so many nasty online memes and attacks about the sub people. A cultural expert psychologist says the hateful comments online directed at the victims of that sub operated with an inexpensive video game controller. Oh, tell them what we think might.
I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if someone faked this, but it looks like at the bottom of the ocean there by the Titanic is that intact game controller.
The one thing that survived was the game controller from Best Buys or something.
It may be a fake.
That may not be true. Anyway, they all died in that. Now, this psychologist says, why does it seem hard to feel sorry for rich people that might die in the submersible? Right. Submersible. I really think right now our culture lacks a lot of empathy. You have to look at social media companies. These big tech companies created social media platforms for fast scrolling. They care about time online, not time well spent. They have features such as fast scrolling on social media, meaning flipping through reels, videos, and images on recommended pages tailored for a user's interests as a recipe for disaster. When you're fast scrolling on social media, you're disconnecting from your feelings. You're disconnecting from the part of you that has empathy for the other person, even well-intentioned people. If you're scrolling fast enough and you're not disconnecting from what actually happened, you might find something funny, then you'll scroll on to the next thing without processing it. These patterns, these daily scrolls, we're all on, we're all doing it. You really have to think, what is this doing to our ability to connect to one another? And Pete and I were just talking about this, about talk radio and phone calls. People don't call anymore. People don't talk anymore. They scroll and text and email.
Well, and it's different because you have social media and you can get live interaction.
Exactly. And everything is so much different. And because of social media, I keep saying, are yesterday's cigarettes. And again, people, will not make a phone call to see how you're doing, but they'll type a few words on their phone and then back to something else instead of actually hearing somebody say, I'm not doing well and maybe you can help me. You know what I mean? If you don't hear it and feel the things with live interaction, you're just typing. You don't get any feeling off typing.
Keyboard cowards.
Exactly. Oh, my God. It's 5:46. Time for the 5:45 break. Sorry. Kimmer, 10 before 6 already, with Pete Davis and Flounder and Sutton helping out here. He's just joined us from the University of Alabama, going back to graduate school, and he's here to be an intern with Flounder. What's the number? 404-741-1230, 404-741-1230. Pete's got a couple of feedback from Facebook things and YouTube. Whoever come. By the way, we are on TV on YouTube and Rumble. Is that correct?
Rumble.
And if you want to do anything involving us, it's thekimmershow.net. We'll link to everything.
Rumble has reached.
Sir, also take a look at your one sheet that I made.
All right, sir. This one, hold on, I got it right here. No, I keep it handy because it's the number one thing. Here it is. Oh, that's not it. I got it here, I swear to God. It's here in my thing. And it's Flounder at, what is it, Twitter? We had Tweet and Twitter, and I can't find it.
All right, so website, thekimmershow.net. Twitter, we are at Kimmer Show. And Rumble, we are the Kimmer Show Podcast.
There we go. Okie dokie. Anyway, a quick date in history here. 1844, John Tyler of Tippecanoe and Tyler 2. On this day, 1844, John Tyler took a hot babe named Julia Gardner as his bride, becoming the first president to marry while in office. There you are.
You frantically looking for your papers is rather funny television.
Oh, is that? I see we're on a delay. I swear it's right here. I know it's right here. I swear it's right. It's here. I promise you. Quick birthday, Chris O'Donnell. He was Robin the Boy Wonder in two of those 90s Batman movies. D'Artagnan in The Three Musketeers.
Bad movie.
Charlie Sims in Son of a Woman. By the way, that was on there. I just DVR'd that the other night and replayed the part of Al Pacino doing the tango with that girl from Burned Unit.
Never saw it.
Never saw the movie?
Nope.
Well, it was different. It was different. Yeah, it was different. You probably wouldn't like it.
Best role was with Gene Hackman in one of those John Grisham movies where he played the grandson of a Klan member, and he was on death row. And he's about to be put
I
to
remember
death.
that.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, he was good in this movie. He was really good in this movie. In the thing I just said that I can't remember. Son of a Woman. Anyway, Chris O'Donnell is 53. And Nick Offerman and Ron Swanson, I mentioned, is 53 years old today also. Ron Swanson's famous sayings include, fish for sport only, not for meat. Fish meat is practically a vegetable. Give a man a fish and feed him for a day. Don't teach a man to fish. Feed yourself. He's a grown man. Fishing's not that hard. And here's how he shows what I think feels about people. Great job, everybody. The reception will be held in each of our individual houses alone. There's only one thing I hate more than lying. Skim milk, which is water that's lying about being milk. Anyway, there you go. Shall I do one? I got one more. You had me at Meat Tornado. Thank you. Anyway, just for the record in the Bing Bang and a Boom. Oh, one more reminder. If you're in DeKalb County, there's a bunch of changes now. The DeKalb County DA, Sherry Contrary Boston, has now announced publicly that she is not going to charge and prosecute any of the domestic terrorists because she says if domestic terrorists aren't given an opportunity to protest with domestic terrorism in DeKalb County, then where can they, by God? It's just not fair. They should be able to protest anywhere they want to. They should be able to shoot guns at police. They should be able to throw Molotov cocktails at police. Whatever they want to do. Sherry Contrary Boston is saying that, but there's a new, in case you didn't know, other biased, unattractive, hate-filled racist lawyers who agree with DeKalb DA Sherry Contrary Boston that liberal terrorists should go free also agree of a new juvenile deterrence program in DeKalb County she's programming started called Boo Got Shot. From now on in DeKalb County, black males between the ages of 13 and 21 will be given credit for 6 shoplifting arrests in the guise of justified slavery reparations. And they'll be given 3 carjackings to make up for the white devil refusing to grant car loans to 14-year-old gangbangers just because they haven't had time yet to establish actual credit. It's really not their fault. Sherry Contrary Boston, ladies and gentlemen, your DeKalb County DA for a better America and a better DeKalb County. Wow. gorgeous. I wish I could live back there again. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. I don't know. What else we got going?
Get out of the cab.
Out of the cab county. Flounder, let's play the chanting sound once again. In case you missed it, and again, because it was over the weekend stuff, this is absolutely appalling. LGBTQ plus whatever alphabet people annual drag queen parade in New York City. Here is some of the sound of what they believe. We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children.
Freaks.
I mean, they said it. So, you know, believe them.
The majority of, believe when people say things. Yeah. Believe them.
And again, finally, and I think it's happening more and more, we don't really, I maybe just don't cover it because I don't see it that much, but I think more and more, Pete mentioned earlier, some, you know, gay leaders are telling people who will listen, hold on a minute, they aren't our people. You know, who do they think they are? They're ruining the gay rights movement. And by the way, I think that's all gone. I don't know anybody who still has an issue with gay marriage or gay. I mean, it's not a thing. It's just part of America. But this whole tranny thing is now exploding as though they have some special category and that they're now the latest victims of America. I mean, where the hell did this even start?
And what gets me, I caught a lot of flack by saying they're mentally ill, and they're mentally ill, and I firmly believe that.
If you have an identity crisis, not knowing whether you're a boy or a girl, come on, that's not, you can't, if you're not faking, if you're faking it, you're a freaking actor. Like the Dylan Mulvaney's, he knows he's not a girl.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they just caught one in New Hampshire, the first state-elected transsexual, whatever, and they caught him with doing pedophile stuff. Yeah. Every time they catch one of these trannies doing this, what is their one excuse? I've suffered from mental issues my entire life. Yeah, well, no. Yeah. Sherlock.
Well, then get your mental issues taken care of.
You are mentally ill, and you should be looked at.
Yeah.
And frankly,
if you need help, nobody's saying you should be, thrown in prison the rest of your life, or hidden out of the jail, or shot, or you need help. If you have a mental issue, mental help, you get help for it.
But if you're going for the kids, you're going to have a bunch of people standing in front of you, and it's not going to be allowed.
We're coming for your
drawn.
Children. Yeah.
You will not win this. You might as well knock it off right now. You're making yourself targets, and even gays and lesbians are saying, okay, enough.
Yeah. And again, we're here, we're queer, and we're coming for your children.
Like the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir a few years ago, and everyone laughed it off. No, it's not. Yeah. That's the face they put out in public. But the majority know exactly what it's about. It's about having sex with children.
Yeah. And here's how bad in the state of California, a district administrator wanted to bring voices opposing diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives to the slaughterhouse. They're going at Bakersfield College, and Professor Damon Johnson is being targeted because he was outspoken about his political beliefs. Mr. Johnson replied to a post from a faculty member a faculty member at this college called America, quote, a blanking piece of blanking nation. And maybe Trump's comment about blank hole countries was a statement of projection because, honestly, the U.S. is a blanking piece of blank nation. Go ahead and quote me, conservatives. So they did. And this one college district administrator, his other faculty member, is now being doxxed and punished and attacked because he was saying, no, wait a minute, that's just nonsense. They said, do you agree with this radical stuff from the English department? He said, maybe he should move to China, post this about the Chinese Communist Party, and see how much mileage it gets him over in China. They filed an administrative complaint with the college against the guy for harassment and bullying. This is unbelievable. There are 5% we have to continue to go. Here, the administrator who hates everybody and wants conservatives taken to the slaughterhouse. There's a fact of life with human nature and so forth. I don't know how to say it any clearer. There's a 5% of the people we have continued to cull, got them in my livestock operation. That's why I put a rope on some of them and take them to the slaughterhouse. It's a fact of life. Holy moly. Oh, my God, are we out of town? I can't believe it. We're going to have to go an extra hour. Sorry, just fooling. Anyway, Flounder and Sutton, welcome aboard. And Pete, and tomorrow we do it all over again, I guess. Oh, my God. Well, I have to call and find out. I have to call in every night, see if they want me to come back. Anyway, hoorah, Semper Fi, I got to go. You're killing me.